Linyi was having the worst day of his life. He got fired in front of everyone, humiliated by his boss, and to make things worse, his girlfriend called just to break up, saying he was too poor for her. No job, no relationship, no direction. He steps into the elevator thinking his life is over, until suddenly a mysterious woman appears, introducing herself as a system. And not just any system. She offers him the chance to switch careers every single week with insane rewards. Unlimited money, luxury cars, entire companies, all just for completing simple tasks. In just a few minutes, the failure from before becomes the owner of a 5-star hotel and the driver of a multi-million-dollar supercar. And that's when he realizes, maybe losing everything was exactly what he needed to gain the whole world. And this is just his first job. Now imagine what happens next week. No more delays. This is just the beginning. Linyi was arguing with his manager at work, saying that he still had not done what had been asked of him. Liliu throws the protagonist's things at him and tells him to leave the company immediately. Linyi picks up his things and starts leaving, questioning what kind of world it is where someone takes their business so seriously, because he felt a little embarrassed for not having given gifts to the leaders. Cecilia, who is his girlfriend, calls him at that moment. He starts talking, but she interrupts him, saying that she wants to break up. He is surprised and asks why. She emphasizes that he does not need to go to her birthday party because she never wants to see him again or receive his calls. Linyi, still not understanding absolutely anything that was happening, asks why she is doing this out of nowhere and whether she is seeing someone else. Cecilia asks what it has to do with anything if she is seeing someone else, because she has been with the protagonist for a long time, but he is still stuck in the same place, looking like a poor man. Because of that, she no longer wants to waste all of her youth on him. The protagonist gets into the elevator saying that this is a shitty day because he lost his job and, on top of that, lost his girlfriend. Suddenly, a beautiful woman in a maid outfit appears in front of him. She is the system, Lady Lingwei. She calls the protagonist Master and welcomes him to the complete career experience system. She introduces herself, saying her name, and the protagonist gets confused, asking what the career system is. She shows some options, telling her new master that he can experience a new profession every week, and that completing all the tasks will result in a final reward. With that, she can help him become a global leader in any field. Linyi throws his things into the air, saying that this is probably the legendary system that appears in every story and that his time has finally come. He receives a notification and the letter congratulates him as the winner. He needs to accept the driver registration package plus 10 million, 100% control of the Peninsula Hotel, and a Pagani Windchild worth 30 million. Linyi is so impressed that he shouts that this package is more than worth it, even if he has to be a driver for the rest of his entire life. Lingwei explains to him that they can only test each profession for 1 week, not forever. The protagonist becomes even happier, saying that this is even better because he can be a beginner every day, change professions every week, and receive a lot of money because of it. Lingwei takes the car key and tells him that the hotel must be claimed by him on site and that his new car is parked in the Chaoyang Group parking lot in Area C, Space 22. He receives a notification on his phone saying that his savings account has just received 10 million. He goes down to where his car is and emphasizes that this system is truly incredible, because it even feels like a dream. He looks ahead, and a woman was having trouble with her car. She is Ji Qingyan, president of the Ji family. The protagonist knows that Lot C is normally a place where only big shots park. Qingyan was still struggling with her car, saying that it was strange, but she did not know why it would not start. Linyi goes over to her and asks if something happened to the car. She recognizes him from the sales department and explains that her car does not want to start. Linyi offers her a ride. She accepts, saying that she is going to the Urban Renewal Authority and is already late, so she thanks him. Suddenly, a man arrives and tries to hug her, saying that the protagonist is just a low-level employee, so he should not drive a good car, and it is better for her to ride in his car, which is a sports car. He is Li Yunhang. Qingyan gets irritated and moves away from him, asking him to stay away from her, because he is a pervert, and she will not accept this harassment. Yunhang keeps acting and says that it is fine, because he already expected this. However, he would like her to allow him to give her a ride because he just bought a new sports car worth 2 million. The protagonist steps between the two of them and tells him not to bother, because he is already going to give her a ride since his car is parked right there in front in Space 22. Yunhang says that the protagonist's car must be a broken-down car and that the young lady will ruin her status as soon as she gets into it. So, she should think twice and accept the ride he is offering. Qingyan refuses again, telling him to leave immediately because there is nothing wrong with a broken-down car since she does not care about that. But as soon as the protagonist's car starts, the sound echoes throughout the entire parking lot. Yunhang recognizes the sound of that car because it is the 30 million Pagani. Linyi says that it is his car. Yunhong cannot believe what he is seeing and asks if the protagonist has any idea how much that car costs. But Linyi shows his key and opens the door for her, politely asking her to get into the car. As she gets into the car, the protagonist asks Yunhong if he is really trying to take the general manager in a shitty car like that because it is way too cheap. Yunhong still could not believe it because that 30 million car is a limited edition, and he cannot even make an appointment just to look at it. He runs over to the protagonist's window and starts calling him brother, saying that he also failed to recognize Mount Tai, so he needs a ride to take a spin. Linny tells him to move away from the car and emphasizes that he is not good enough to get a ride, then drives away. Qingyan asks the protagonist if that car is really his and questions whether he is not just a small employee from the sales department. Since the protagonist cannot tell the truth, he emphasizes that the car is indeed his because the reality is that he is a rich kid who is there only to experience life. He asks her to open the ride-hailing app and become his first customer. Smiling brightly, she says that this is very interesting and that she feels honored to be able to do it. She places a ride-hailing order and the protagonist quickly accepts it. He takes her to the Urban Renewal Authority. She gets out of the car and thanks him very much for the help. Lingwei congratulates the protagonist for completing his first ride and he will be rewarded with 50,000 proficiency points, along with 5% completion of the career with a reward of 50 million. Linyi cannot believe that he earned 50 million just by completing one ride. A little later at the hotel, Cecilia was with her new boyfriend, telling Yunji that the Peninsula Hotel is a 5-star hotel and one of the best hotels in China. Even many celebrities go there to hold weddings, so she wants her birthday party to be there as well. Yunji says that it is fine and they can do it there since that is what she wants because a private room there only costs 70 to 80,000. She hugs him, saying that she wishes she had met him a little earlier, but her new boyfriend asks her to look to the side and asks if that is not the protagonist. Cecilia is surprised to see him and asks what he is doing there because he is a poor loser and does not even need to try to get her back. Linyi tells her not to be stupid and asks whether he cannot be there to spend his money because this is just a small average hotel. Yunji tells him to stop talking nonsense because this is a 5-star hotel and it is not for someone with his status. Cecilia shouts, calling the security guards and telling them to throw that homeless man out of there. The security guards come running and Yunji starts laughing, saying that if the protagonist does not leave now, he will be kicked out and embarrassed. But the security guards go over to him and call him sir, bowing to him. Yunji and Cecilia are surprised by that. She asks how that can be possible since her ex-boyfriend is just a simple shitty salesman. So, how could he be the owner of that hotel? One of the security guards asks the protagonist to accompany him to the meeting room because they need to report on the performance. Cecilia finally realizes what is happening and that she has just lost a filthy rich man. In the meeting room, the manager brings a stack of reports to the protagonist, saying that the entire financial report is there and that he can take a look. Linny looks at all of it and says that maybe he does not need to look since the hotel is in good hands. So they can continue working the same way because he trusts everyone there. Suddenly, someone starts knocking on the door and he asks them to come in. A woman enters in a panic, telling manager Wang that the client in room 1704 wants to file a complaint against them, and they cannot stop her. The manager asks what the complaints against them are. The woman explains that the client submitted a car rental request at the hotel yesterday, but the Mercedes she wanted was prioritized for VIP users. Now she does not want to accept a replacement car and wants to file a complaint against them. The protagonist tells the two of them to continue analyzing the finances, because he will personally go there to take a look. As soon as he arrives at the room, he knocks on the door. Gu Jingshua opens it and is impressed, asking where that man came from, because he is very handsome. The protagonist introduces himself, saying that he is the person responsible for that hotel. He emphasizes that they will handle the matter properly and promises to make her feel satisfied. Jingshua explains that it is nothing serious because he just needs to arrange another car for her. Linyi says that if she does not mind, he can rent his own car to her, which is the Pagani. Jingshua is impressed and also a little embarrassed, saying that she cannot afford to rent a car like that with her money. Besides, she has also heard that supercars are different from ordinary cars, and she does not know how to drive one. Linyi says that if that is the problem, then if she does not mind, he can give her a ride to the location. She is surprised and says that it is a little embarrassing to ask for that, but since she is really in a hurry, she will accept the offer, though she only needs 1 minute to change. She enters the bathroom and starts changing, and the protagonist is impressed by the reflection of that girl's body. She quickly gets ready and calls him to go. Meanwhile, in the hotel lobby, Cecilia was breaking up with Yunji, telling him to leave immediately because the protagonist could come back at any minute. and she does not want him to get the wrong impression. Yoonji, completely irritated, says that she is a gold digger and asks if the protagonist will really still be interested in her, because from the looks of it, she is daydreaming. Another girl approaches and tells her that a few minutes ago she had looked down on Linyi, so maybe he will not change his mind. Cecilia emphasizes that she has been with him for years, so she is sure that he will forgive her if she plays the victim. Her friend says that she is even a little jealous because she will never find such a good man in her life. Cecilia tells her not to blame herself so much, because when she and the protagonist make up, she will take her friend for a ride in the Pagani. Linyi appears with Jingshua, and Cecilia runs over to him, calling him dear and asking who that woman is and whether she is his secretary, because if she is, she can be fired, since Cecilia will take care of his business from now on. Linyi, irritated, says that it is none of his ex-girlfriend's business who that woman is. Cecilia starts crying and says that after so many years of dating, he is no longer capable of loving her. She asks if he has already forgotten all the joy and fun they had together, and says that even if that woman has a better body than hers, her skills are not as good as they should be. Jingshua plays along and clings to the protagonist, asking how her skills could not be that good, because not long ago the protagonist had said that she was much better than his ex-girlfriend. Linyi takes advantage of the situation and holds Jingshua tightly, saying that she not only has great skills but also has excellent flexibility. He starts leaving, saying that since there is nothing else to resolve, he needs to go on a date. Cecilia does everything she can not to lose him, asking him not to go, and emphasizes that she is willing to be only his mistress, because after all those years of relationship, he should still be able to feel something for her. Linyi asks what part of her he would love, whether maybe it is the part where she does not wash her hair or her horrible personality, or even the fact that she loves fooling around and cheating her whole life. He tells her to leave immediately because there is not the slightest chance that they will get back together. Besides, he does not want to see her ever again, so he will not feel disgusted. Cecilia falls to her knees on the floor, completely humiliated. A little later inside the car, Linyi asks where Jingshua is going. She says that she needs to go to the Fairview Hotel, where her classmate is getting married, but before that, she would like to apologize. Linyi tells her not to worry about that situation. Besides, she also helped him a lot inside the hotel. Meanwhile, at the other hotel, some women were irritated, asking what Jingshua's problem was and why she still had not arrived. And maybe she had found a rich boyfriend and was already doing the final test. Another girl says that woman is different because the other day she had said that her boyfriend had bought her a Mercedes. But the conversation always took another turn because the other girl who was there was telling all the others not to believe that and questioned what kind of rich person that woman could possibly know in her social circle. Besides, the boyfriends of the three of them are rich men, and when they go out to have fun, she never sees any man drop her off or pick her up. She must be jealous and envious, which is why she keeps lying. Suddenly, the Pagani stops in front of the hotel and Jingshua gets out like a first lady. The first woman is impressed, saying that she cannot believe she really managed to get a boyfriend who has a Pagani, and that this is fantastic. Jingshua goes to the window and tells Linny that she helped him with his ex-girlfriend, so now she needs him to do the same favor for her. Linny understands the situation and shouts from the window, calling her dear and asking her to have a lot of fun that night. Meanwhile, at the protagonist's house, Zhang Jingjing, the daughter of the owner of the protagonist's house, tells her mother that he only owes 10 days of rent and that she does not need to be so nervous, because if they wait just a few more days, he will definitely pay. Wu Jinlan, her mother, asks what will happen if the protagonist runs away, because she is already warning her now and her daughter had better not think about him. After all, she will be a good civil servant in the future, while he cannot even be called a salaried worker. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. The protagonist opens it and goes to the landlady, explaining that he will no longer stay there, so he came over to say goodbye because he will leave after packing his things. Jinlen, irritated by the situation, shouts, saying that if he wants to leave, he needs to pay the rent he owes before going. Linyi laughs and says that, from the looks of it, she misunderstood something. He emphasizes that he will pay the rent immediately and transfers 4,000 to her. Jinlan is surprised, saying that the rent is only 2,000, so why did he transfer all that? The protagonist explains that it is an apology for paying the rent late. Jinlan says that he is moving out very suddenly and asks if he has some new plan. Linny explains that being a ride-hailing driver should not be that bad. Besides, he is starving. Jingjing says that she would really like to help him carry his things outside. Jinlin was following the two of them to see if that brat would steal anything from her house. But as soon as they arrive outside, Jinlin asks whose beautiful supercar that is and where the protagonist's old car was. Linny explains that he no longer drives that old piece of junk, and now he drives that supercar. He asks Jingjing to put the things in the car. Jinlin is impressed, asking if he is not a salaried worker, so when did he become so rich? Jing Jing, who already liked him before, now becomes even more in love. Linny explains that he stopped pretending because he was only working to experience life, but in reality, he is a very rich kid. Jing Jing tells her mother that before, she did not like the protagonist because he was very poor and seemed to have no ambition. But now that he's very rich, maybe she can. Jinlin scolds her daughter, telling her to stop thinking about such useless things. Because before, the protagonist was not good enough for her, but now her daughter is the one who is not good enough for him. She orders her to go back home and study immediately. Linyi returns to the hotel and Wang informs him that the residential suite has already been arranged for him. The protagonist thanks him and asks him to help carry the things in the car upstairs, prepare some food, and send it to the room because he is starving after going so long without eating. A little later, as soon as he finishes eating, he feels satisfied, saying that this is not bad at all for a five-star hotel and that everything was delicious. Qingyan sends him a message saying that she's almost finished there and asks if he can pick her up in front of the Urban Renewal Authority. He says yes and that he will arrive in at most 30 minutes. As soon as he arrives at the location, he asks if she could place the order first. She's a little confused and asks what order he's talking about. He shows his phone, saying that it is the order on the ride-hailing app because if she does not place the order, he will not be able to make money and will have to drink sifeng. She laughs and says that she will do it right away. Qingyan thinks that before the protagonist drove a 30 million supercar, he had been able to quickly reach the position of sales champion at the company. Now that he was fired, it is understandable that he would take a ride so seriously. However, she still does not know how someone as dedicated as him could have been fired, and something must have happened behind the scenes that she does not know about, so she will have to investigate later. As soon as she places the order, Linyi says that everything is set and that they can go. Lingwei appears to him, and the protagonist gets startled, but she tells him not to worry because no one else can see her besides him. Lingwei tells her master that this woman is incredibly beautiful, and she, as the system, gives her a score of 85. Besides, the system congratulates him for successfully getting the second order, and this triggered a new system task. He needs to transport two beautiful women with a score of 85 or higher. If he manages to do that, he will receive 10,000 proficiency points and 50% of the tasks. But what kind of beauty can be considered above 85? She gives him a hint, saying a beautiful woman like Qingyan. Qingyan notices that the protagonist was very distracted and asks what is going on, and whether he is not going to take her home, because for a moment she noticed that he was going through a harder time than she was. Linyi asks what difficult matter she is dealing with and whether it is personal or business related. Qingyan says it is business related because the company wants to hold a launch event soon. She emphasizes that they contacted every five-star hotel in the city and none of them can provide the venue. They were all fully booked, so she is a little worried about how she will solve that problem. The protagonist says that she can go to the Peninsula Hotel to see what it is like because it should be good enough. Qingyan laughs and tells him not to be ridiculous because the Peninsula Hotel is a super five-star hotel, and even if she is not afraid of spending money, it is still almost impossible to book that place. The protagonist laughs, saying that this is not necessarily true because life is full of surprises. Just like they met that day, she might also be able to get something if she goes there. She laughs, saying that the protagonist is very good with words and that she has been convinced. She asks him to turn the car around and go to the Peninsula Hotel immediately. Linyi learned from Brian O'Connor at school and turns the car around in the middle of the street. Qingyan laughs and says that she will warn him in advance, because if she cannot make a deal, she will not pay for that route change. The protagonist plays along and asks what he will get if she manages to make the deal. Qingyan asks what reward he wants if she manages to make the deal. He laughs, saying that if she gets the deal, then she will have to do 10 S squats. She gets a little worried and asks what exactly an S squat is. The protagonist asks her to take out her phone and look it up. She does it and gets a little embarrassed. She thinks that she had already called before and the manager there said that no reservation was available. And even so, she ended up agreeing to do this. Since she had already been rejected before, she agrees, saying that she will do the S squats. A little later, they arrive at the hotel. Qingyan goes to the receptionist with the protagonist and introduces herself, saying that she would like to speak with manager Wang Jianlong. The receptionist says that it is fine, but they need to go to the lounge first and she will inform the manager. She wonders if that is the new love her boss found, pretending to be poor again, because that girl is extremely more beautiful than that ex-girlfriend. But she needs to stop thinking about that and go report to the manager that they are waiting. Jianlong goes over to her and says that he is honored to have them there and apologizes for not receiving them sooner. Qingyan introduces herself, saying that she is from the Sunrise Group and that the company would like to hold a launch event soon. Because of that, she would like to know if the Peninsula Hotel's auditorium is available. Jianlong makes a strange face, but the protagonist gives the command from behind, telling him to accept. Qingyan, who saw the manager's expression, thinks that she already expected that because that hotel is on an entirely higher level than her small group. Jianlong says that it is fine and that he can arrange the hotel auditorium on any day she wants. Qingyan is very happy with that news and asks if he is serious. She thanks him because she is planning to hold the launch event in 10 days. Jianlong says that there is no problem because they will make all the preparations and give her full support. A little later, inside the car, she thanks the protagonist, saying that he truly is a blessing in her life, because just as he said, she had a great surprise. Lin Yi emphasizes that he had already told her because life is full of surprises, but now it is time to change the subject because she needs to fulfill her part of the bet. She gets embarrassed, asking if he really still remembers that, but either way, she is the president of the Sunrise Group, so she has to keep her word. Linny starts taking off her seatbelt and she is surprised, asking what he's doing because they are still in the car and they could go to her house and talk a little more about it. But the protagonist laughs, saying that it can be in the car too. Qingyan feels a little embarrassed about doing that inside the car and says that the car is too small and cramped, so it is better for them to go to her house. Linny accelerates with everything he has, saying that this is really great, but she thinks that it is only an S squat, so why is he so excited about it? They quickly arrive at her house, and with a sweet look, she asks if he wants to see it now. Linny asks her to hurry up because he still needs to take care of some things. She is surprised and embarrassed, saying that she would like to warn him first that she has never done that kind of thing before, so he should not complain if she does not do well. Linny asks her to calm down, relax, and slowly go down. Qingyan starts fulfilling her part of the deal, and the protagonist is impressed. Suddenly, someone opens the door and gets irritated, asking what she is doing. The two are surprised to see him. He is her father. Qingyan asks what her father is doing there. And still irritated, he asks why he should not be there, or maybe if he should be under a car. She tries to explain the situation to her father, saying that he misunderstood everything, and says that the protagonist is her new yoga instructor. Linny thinks that that old man arrived at an extremely bad time to ruin his fun. Her father looks at the protagonist, asking if she really thinks he's stupid, because since when do yoga instructors only watch from the side? As far as he knows, they get on the floor and demonstrate the movements. She insists on that same excuse, saying that the protagonist is a more advanced yoga instructor who only gives verbal guidance and usually does not practice. Her father asks her to stop that and tells her to leave because he would like to talk to the protagonist for a bit. Linny thinks that this is a great profession, and if only there were a profession for training the backside, that would be great. Her father sits beside the protagonist, extremely irritated, and asks what his name is and what he does. Linny introduces himself and says that he is a ride-hailing driver. Her father is surprised and asks if he is joking, questioning what kind of sports car a ride-hailing driver would have to drive to make his daughter interested. The protagonist says that her father is right because he is indeed a ride-hailing driver with a sports car. Her father touches his shoulder and starts laughing, asking if it is that limited edition Pagani at the door. He emphasizes that the protagonist is indeed much better than those who only eat, drink, and have fun. And now he can trust the words he's hearing a little more. Lin Yu wanted a live show, but now he is being forced to become that guy's son-in-law. Qingyan tries to explain to her father that she and the protagonist do not have that kind of relationship he is thinking of. Her father takes a deep breath and says that he truly cannot understand today's youth. He says goodbye and says that the two of them could go together to Qingyan's grandfather's birthday because he would like to let the rest of the family get to know the protagonist a little better. He tells the two of them to go ahead and not let that old man ruin their fun. Qingyan sits beside the protagonist, saying that her father misunderstood everything, but the protagonist throws himself on top of her, saying that this misunderstanding was great, because now they can continue from where they left off. Qingyan gets a little embarrassed, but she likes what was happening. To play hard to get, she asks what he wanted to continue because all of that was just a misunderstanding. Linny explains that they need to keep doing it, and when she finishes squatting, that place will become a little better. She gets embarrassed and asks him to move away, but the protagonist explains that what he is saying is very serious, because gymnastics gives a lot of emphasis to muscle groups. She is surprised and thinks that he really was talking about the movement points because she thought he was going to do something else. Suddenly, his phone rings and he receives a message saying that everyone was very sad about his departure, so they decided to hold a dinner at the Yipinju restaurant that night as a farewell for him. He says goodbye to her, saying that he has some things to take care of, but that they would continue from where they left off later. She asks him to get out of there because he is nothing but a rogue. A little later, he arrives at the restaurant. Wang Ying asks him to sit there because they saved a seat for him. She emphasizes that she's not saying he quit too impulsively, but with his level, he would have been promoted to sales director in a short time. Huang Yue says that this is not true, because his own performance is not bad either, and who said the position of sales director should go to the protagonist? Ying states that Lin Yi's performance is better than Yue's, so the position of sales director would naturally be his. Yue laughs, asking what good that does, since he was fired anyway. He looks at Li Jiangdong, saying that he heard Dong's appointment papers will arrive soon, so he suggests that they make a toast together. Jiangdong asks him not to be like that because even if he will soon become the head of the sales department, the main character today is the protagonist, so he does not want to be the center of attention. Lin Yi goes over to them and asks why he feels like the two of them are there to show off and not to see him. Jiangdong says that is not true because they are there to see him and have good intentions. However, he would like to know what the protagonist's new plans are, because the big city is not that easy to blend into and maybe he will return to the countryside. Yao Wei asks how he is going to do that since the protagonist is an orphan and has no home, nowhere to go back to. Jiangdong picks up a glass and says that he knows a real estate owner in his neighborhood, so the protagonist can go to his house and watch the doors. Lin Yi emphasizes that he does not need to worry about finding him a job because he is a ride-hailing driver and drove there, so he will not drink today. Suddenly, the manager of the place appears, asking which customer owns the Pagani parked downstairs. Lin Yi asks what the problem is with the Pagani. The people go to the window, seeing that there is indeed a Pagani parked downstairs, and it is a car that easily costs more than 20 million. The manager says that the car is blocking the other cars, so he wanted to notify the owner to move it. Yue asks the protagonist to tone it down a little, because the manager is talking to the owner of the Pagani, not the protagonist's old car. Lin Yi shows the Pagani key, saying that the car is his, so of course he has to ask what is going on. Jiangdong is impressed and asks if the protagonist is serious, questioning whether he is not an orphan. So where did he get the money to buy a sports car like that? Lin Yi asks him to stop being so stupid and questions whether an orphan cannot have money. He looks at Ying and says that he is not in the mood to eat that food, so he will take her home. She smiles and agrees with him. Jiangdong steps in front of him and starts calling the protagonist brother, saying that he does not need to be in such a hurry to leave. He emphasizes that all of that was his fault because he had been rude and apologizes for what he did earlier. Lin Yi refuses, saying that he will become the director, so there is no reason for him to apologize to a mere ride-hailing driver. He takes Ying to the car and leaves with the Pagani. Inside the car, she was impressed, saying that she had worked with him for so long and did not know he was a rich man. He laughs, saying that it is an inheritance and that he does not usually show all of his wealth until it needs to be shown. She asks if what he said earlier about being a ride-hailing driver is true. He says yes and asks if she would like to place a ride order. She laughs and says that after a request like that, there is no way to refuse. The system warns that after scanning, that woman's score was 84, so she did not meet the task requirements. The protagonist starts thinking and calls it serious, because she is very beautiful and asks the system if it could not give her one more point, because that score is nowhere near what she truly deserves. Ying notices that he was looking at her and asks if something is wrong. Lin Yi asks if she knows any way to increase a woman's charm. She says that to increase charm, all one has to do is become a little more attractive, and that is not so difficult. The protagonist asks what she usually does to do that. She starts changing clothes, putting on some pieces, and asks what he thinks. Lin Yi is impressed by her beauty and asks the system to do a new scan to check her overall score. The system says that the passenger's total score is 85, which meets the task requirements. 15% of the career has been completed, and the reward is a house in Kyushu. He needs to find the sales manager to receive the reward. He is so impressed by this that he ends up cursing, leaving Ying a little surprised. As soon as they arrive at the destination, Ying looks at him and asks if he would like to come in so they can talk a little better, because her husband is away on business that night. The protagonist apologizes and explains that he still has some things to do that night, so she needs to wait until the next time her husband is not home for them to talk. She says that this is very boring to hear, but gets out of the car, saying that they will talk next time. The next day, he goes to the Kyushu sales department. Zhang Mengyu, a former colleague of the protagonist, asks what he is doing there. Lin Yi explains that he is there to see her manager and pick up the deeds to his new property. Mengyu starts pushing him outside, asking him to stop joking around because each of those units is worth more than 800 million, so which one could he possibly afford? Suddenly, someone appears and shouts at her, asking what she thinks she's doing. Manager Wang Hui appears and pushes her, telling her to get out of there immediately because she will deal with that situation later. Hui holds Lin Yi's arm, asking if he is Mr. Lin Yi. She introduces herself, saying her name, and emphasizes that she is the manager. Because of that, she would like to show him the property first, or if he prefers, she can give him an overview of the area first. Mengyu tries to stop the manager, asking her not to waste her time, because the protagonist is an old colleague. an orphan, and he cannot afford any of the houses. Hui gets irritated asking what she is talking about. The manager tells her to go upstairs to the HR office, receive her termination check, and then never enter that store again. Mengyu is surprised but insists, saying that she is not lying because she really knows the protagonist and knows everything about him. Hui says that from the looks of it, she knows nothing, and emphasizes that the protagonist bought 9 houses, and yet she continues saying that he is her colleague and that she knows everything about him. She asks if Mengyu is satisfied now. Mengyu falls to the floor, unable to believe that he bought 9 houses. Even the protagonist thinks that from the looks of it, it is not just one house. And this time, the system gave him a great reward. The manager apologizes to the protagonist and explains that that employee has been under a lot of stress lately and is not in a good mental state. So this must have been a bad shopping experience for him, and she would like to apologize. Linyi smiles and says that it is fine, emphasizing that the manager already fired her. So the problem has been solved. He points out that the formalities for his houses have probably already been completed and asks if she could give him all the property deeds. Some women approach, and the manager says that everything is ready and that all the deeds and keys to the 9 houses are there. He throws all the deeds into his car and receives a message from Ying saying that she heard from the HR department that Lily Yu and Zhang Dong were fired. The protagonist is surprised because he had just left and now the two of them were also fired. That was very fast, unless she had acted. He sends a message to Qingyun asking if she fired Zhang Dong and Lily Yu. She says that news travels very fast because she had investigated the reason for the protagonist's dismissal and immediately fired the two of them because of it. The protagonist asks what her plans are for the position of sales chief. Qingyun says that she will leave that to the protagonist. He refuses, saying that he has been doing very well lately with his part-time ride-hailing job. However, he thinks that Ying from the sales department would be a great choice. Qingyun says that she will think about it. However, she would like to ask him for a favor. She emphasizes that her car still has not been repaired, so she would like him to pick her up at the office. Ling Wei warns him that a new task has appeared. If he completes the task, which is to receive 5 5-star ratings, the reward will be 200,000 proficiency points and 25% completion of his profession. As soon as Linyi drops Qingyun off at the place, he asks her not to forget to give him 5 stars. Qingyun looks at him and asks if he really wants a 5-star rating. The protagonist says that would be very good. She laughs and says that it is fine because she would like to exchange that rating for the S squats she owes him. Linyi looks directly into her eyes and she is surprised, asking what he is doing. The protagonist explains that if that is the case, then he does not want a 5-star rating because she still owes him 9 squats, and he will not give up a single one. She gets a little embarrassed, saying that he is very perverted. She takes off her seatbelt and gets out of the car. Ying sees the two of them together. The protagonist tries to explain that he is just a ride-hailing driver and happened to meet Miss Qingyun taking a taxi. But Ying wonders why the two of them are panicking because she had not said anything. Because of that, she starts thinking that the protagonist might be with the president. So, no wonder those two were fired, and he did not want to go upstairs with her. Unfortunately, it seems that she never had a chance from the beginning. Qingyun says that they are late and calls Ying to hurry upstairs. Suddenly, his phone rings and the message says that he has received a 5-star rating. He checks in surprise, seeing that that girl really has a sharp tongue. He receives another call and notices that the address is not too far away, so he decides to accept it. The woman sends a message asking if he is the ride-hailing driver and asks how old he is. The protagonist is surprised, but replies that he is 24. The girl asks him for a favor, asking him to pretend to be her boyfriend, because if he does that, she will give him 5 stars. The protagonist accepts, since one of his tasks is to accumulate 5-star ratings. He goes to the girl's house, and when he knocks on the door, she answers. As soon as Zhao Yu sees the protagonist, she is impressed, thinking that he looks very good, even better than her intern. She is a famous streamer. Suddenly, her mother arrives and asks if he is her daughter's boyfriend. The protagonist says yes and introduces himself, saying his name. Her father is also happy, saying that the young man seems quite spirited, and asks what he does for a living. The protagonist replies that he is a ride-hailing driver, and the two of them are not very happy with that. Yu explains to her parents that lately being a ride-hailing driver has been quite profitable. She explains that she received all of her jewelry from the protagonist and that he is now saving enough money to start his own business. However, her father, still irritated, asks what business he wants to start because, from the looks of it, they do not understand any of that, and 9 out of 10 startups die. Yu tries to change the subject, asking if her parents are not going to their friend's party. Her father says that it really is about time. Yu smiles, saying that she asked her boyfriend to take them, so they can all go together. Linyi gets a little embarrassed and apologizes, but explains that the car he is driving only has room for 2 people, so her parents will have to call another car. While they were walking, her parents were furious, saying that that girl must have hit her head because she really found a motorcyclist as her boyfriend. Her mother was not pleased at all either, saying that if people found out about this, they would be ridiculed. But as soon as the protagonist opens the door of his car, her father is impressed, seeing that it is an extremely expensive sports car. Yu is also delighted, asking if that really is his car. The protagonist gets in, says yes, and asks her to get in as well. Her parents ask her to get in the car quickly and not leave Mr. Linyi waiting. As soon as she gets in, the protagonist asks which mall she would like to go to. She says she is going to Times Square and emphasizes that the car really is incredible. While he was driving, she says that she has another request and asks if he could accept it. She explains that she is a streamer and asks if she could live stream inside that car for a while. Linyi says that she can do whatever she wants as long as she gives him 5 stars. She is happy, thanks him, and starts the live stream, asking if her viewers can guess where she is. The people watching ask if that is some tycoon's car. Others say that it is a Pagani and that the driver of the car is very handsome and very rich. But others say that she probably rented the car and found a handsome driver to increase her popularity, so they wanted to know if she really has the money for all that or offered her own body. She laughs and asks them not to say so much nonsense because she's not the type of person who does that kind of thing. However, she thinks that if that handsome man beside her were really willing to pay for her body, she would not refuse. But the truth is that she would not even charge for it. A little later, they arrive at the destination, and she calls the protagonist handsome, saying that she gave him the 5-star rating and hopes to see him next time. Ling Wei appears in a slightly different form, congratulating her master for completing the task and earning 200,000 proficiency points. His career completion has reached 35%, and the reward is the Shanghai International Circuit, master behind the wheel. The protagonist thinks that this international circuit is the best racetrack, apart from Abu Dhabi. He asks Yu to wait a moment and asks if she is familiar with that place because he wants to change his phone. She says yes and asks him to come with her. She takes him to a phone store and says it is right up ahead. The protagonist points to one of the phones and says that he would like to take that one because it needs to have the maximum amount of storage possible. Yu interrupts him and asks if he really wants to look at phones there because online he can buy one a little cheaper. But the protagonist says that there is no need for that because they are already there. The salesman goes over to him carrying the phone he had chosen and asks if the protagonist would like to choose another case since that phone costs more than 10,000. So it would not be very nice to let it break if it fell on the floor or something like that. Linyi laughs, saying that he does not really like using cases because he does not feel comfortable with them. The salesman keeps offering some cases, but the protagonist says that he never said he wanted to buy any kind of protection because his intention is to buy a few more phones. If his phone happens to break, he can just replace it with another one. He asks for 5 of each color and tells him to pack everything together. The salesman is surprised, saying that this would be a total of 20 units, and asks if he is sure. Linyi says yes, also asks for a MacBook, and tells him to add it together. Yu is impressed, saying that this is a lot of money. She looks at her live stream and thinks that she cannot believe what she is seeing, because the number of viewers has reached more than 5 million, and that is 5 times more than before. This makes her think that the saying she has always heard is true because showing off wealth live is the easiest way to gain popularity. To take advantage of that situation, she asks if the protagonist wants to buy anything else. Linyi thinks about it for a moment and says that he would like to buy a watch. An employee says that someone has arrived and that she will serve them, but the other woman asks why all that reception is necessary because it would only be a waste of time, asking her coworker if she did not see that woman with the phone live streaming, and she is probably only trying to show off her wealth. The employee emphasizes that nowadays, being a streamer seems to be quite profitable. However, the more experienced saleswoman asks her coworker if she really thinks that is the same as buying lipstick. She emphasizes that this is the Zhongshe Egton store, and aside from the super rich, how could a small average streamer possibly afford to buy anything there? The other employee accepts that as the absolute truth and says that her older sister is a very good judge of people. Yu and Linyi start looking at the watches, and she is impressed, thinking that she does not understand the world of the rich because that price is extremely high and could be paid only as a down payment. The protagonist asks the saleswoman if she could take that watch out for him. The woman apologizes, saying that this display can only be shown to him after payment is made. Yu is confused by that, thinking how people could buy them if they cannot even see them up close. Suddenly, another man arrives and calls the attendant. The woman runs over to Mr. Lin and asks how she can help him. The woman sees a watch and tells her dear that she wants a very beautiful watch and would like to take it as a birthday present. The saleswoman takes out the watch, saying that she has good taste and that it is the new model from that year. Yu does not understand what is happening. The protagonist gets irritated and shouts, asking what is going on there because they are all customers. So why are they being treated differently? The saleswoman acts mockingly, saying that she is very sorry, but they provide service according to the customer's level, so they hope the protagonist understands. Linny says that he really does understand. From the looks of it, she's just an idiot who thinks she can judge and look down on people with her stupid eyes. Yu asks the protagonist not to get so angry because those luxury stores are all snobbish, and he does not need to act like that. The saleswoman says that they are just two clown streamers, and it was already a lot to let them enter the store because if it were Bel Fata on the other side of the mall, they would have kicked the two of them out a long time ago. Yu pulls the protagonist, telling him to forget it, because they do not need to buy from that store. They go to another store and the attendant politely greets the two of them, asking how she can help them. The protagonist says that he is not very familiar with that area and asks Yu if she could show him something. She emphasizes that she is not very familiar with it either, and we'll see what people are saying. Yu says that everyone was saying they should buy the Patek Philippe from the 175th anniversary collection model. The attendant starts questioning how those people behind a keyboard can say that kind of thing. But some people were telling them to forget it and not pretend to be arrogant because they have no money and it is easy to get slapped in the face. Maybe he thinks he has a sense of superiority just because he bought a few phones, but he cannot buy a watch, even if he drives a Pagani. Yu asks him not to get so angry because she will kick those people out of the live stream immediately. But the protagonist asks her not to do that and to let them watch. He asks the saleswoman if she could get him the watch from the 175th anniversary collection. Everyone is startled, and the saleswoman asks if he really wants to buy that watch. He pulls out his black card and asks if that will not be possible, but all the saleswomen and salesmen start treating him like a true king, saying that it is possible. However, they emphasize that this watch is not in stock and needs to be brought from Europe. Yu is surprised, asking how such a big store like that does not have that watch in stock. One of the saleswomen explains that there are only 6 watches like that in the world, and only one was allocated to China, so there is not a single one in stock in the entire country. The news quickly spreads throughout the entire place, because someone bought a watch for more than 10 million. The saleswoman from before, who had looked down on the protagonist, also finds out and says that it is that model from the 175th anniversary collection. As soon as they run over there to see, she cannot believe what she is seeing because the person she had looked down on has just spent more than 10 million on a single watch. She tries to fix the situation, telling him that they also have many new models in the store, and asks why he does not go over there to take a look. But Linny immediately replies that he cannot do that because he is too poor to go to that store. She kneels down and starts begging, asking him not to leave and admitting that she was wrong. She starts hitting herself, saying that she had told herself not to judge people, because of that, several commissions had already been lost. Outside, the protagonist gives Yu a phone as a gift, saying that he is sorry for making her stay with him shopping for so long. She thanks him for the gift and says that it was an excellent day. As soon as he drives away, she starts thinking how a man that good, rich, gentlemanly, and handsome can exist in that world because if only he really were her boyfriend, everything would be perfect. He goes to the international circuit he had won. As soon as he enters, one of the attendants says that they have a VIP reception today, so they are closed. Linyi cuts the conversation short, saying that he's not there to play around but to see the general manager, and asks her to inform them that Linyi is there. The attendant smiles and says that it is fine, asking him to wait a moment because she will inform them immediately. Suddenly, Chinhan opens the door acting arrogantly and shouts, asking what is going on there, because they had already said they would use that place today, so why are outsiders entering? Another attendant goes over to him and says that she is truly sorry, but the other gentleman is there to see manager Joe and they are already taking him there. The other attendant goes to the protagonist saying that they should go to the first floor so they do not disturb Chin Han. The protagonist asks who that guy is and whether the track is really closed just for him. The woman says that he does not know him, but that man is the famous Chin Han, and there are not many people in Zhonghai who dare to mess with him. A little later, they arrive at the manager's office. Zhou Haitao asks the protagonist why he did not call before, because they could have arranged an escort to pick him up. He asks Xiao Zhao to get some water for the new general manager. She gets a little confused, asking what he meant by general manager. Haitao explains that it is exactly that because the racetrack has been fully acquired by Mr. Linyi. From now on, he will be everyone's boss there. The protagonist sits at the table and Haitao explains that all those papers show how the company is doing and he can take a look. The protagonist explains that he does not need to look and asks them to continue operating the same way as before. If there is something Haitao cannot solve, then he can come to him. He asks the manager to show him the racetrack. While the manager was taking the protagonist to the track, he emphasizes that he bought that place for the full price. So he probably likes driving a lot and asks if he would like to do 2 laps to get to know the track. Linyi says that is a great idea and asks the manager to have someone bring his car. Suddenly, some cars approach and Chin Han gets out, calling the manager fatty and asking what is wrong with him because he had reserved that entire place, and he dares to bring people there to interrupt. From the looks of it, he must be tired of living. Xiao Zhao explains that he would not dare to bring an outsider there, and that he misunderstood, because this is the sole owner of the circuit and he is there to inspect his property. Everyone is surprised by that. The protagonist tells the manager that he would like to do a few laps on the track, so he needs to immediately remove all those strangers from there. And if he happens to need to refund their money, he should just do it without arguing. Chin Han picks up a pack of cigarettes and calls out to the protagonist, saying that he really is interesting, because no one in that city has ever dared to kick him out of any place. So, he would like to propose a race, and the winner keeps racing on the track for that day. The protagonist accepts the cigarette, asking Chin Han to forget about it, because he is not going to accept such a thing. Chin Han insists, saying that although he is known in his circle as the god of racing, he can give him a 10-second head start and asks the protagonist not to be a coward. Lin Yi laughs and says that it is fine because he will race 2 laps. In any case, his hand is already itching because he is dying to know how his car performs on a racetrack. Chin Han looks around asking where the protagonist's car is, because if the protagonist thinks his car is too inferior, he can change it. Suddenly, the Pagani is delivered, and Chin Han is impressed, asking if that really is the car that will race. Lin Yi says that it is not such an expensive car, but it is better than Chin Han's car, and asks what is going on and whether he is getting intimidated by the car. Chin Han says that the truth is that he did not spend more than 3 million on his car, but even so, it will not lose in performance to the protagonist's car. They go to the track and get ready to race. As soon as the start is given, the two shoot forward at high speed. Suddenly, the manager asks what is going on, since Chin Han slowed down, but the protagonist keeps accelerating and is ready to enter a turn at high speed. Chin Han's friends ask if that is some kind of joke, because even a professional racer would not dare to enter a turn like that at high speed, and that is a little careless of him. But Lin Yi takes the turn perfectly, and everyone is impressed. One of the people says that it is so insane that he looks like Verstappen. The protagonist wins the race, and the woman shouts that the boss won and that his driving skill is truly incredible. Chin Han goes over to the protagonist and says that now he has a new idol, emphasizing that he is already convinced that he was defeated. Besides, he tells the protagonist that the Pagani does not have any kind of modification, so why did he have an advantage at the start? Lin Yi explains that Chin Han started the wrong way because the clutch needs to be at 4,000 RPM, since the best way to launch a car is to extract the engine's power before changing gears. Chin Han is happy with that, saying that this evaluation is fantastic, and that, from the looks of it, he met someone better today, asking if they could add each other as friends, because he would like to start following him from that moment on. The protagonist accepts and receives other messages. He says goodbye to the two of them, saying that he needs to go to work and will come back another day to inspect things. Besides, he asks Chin Han to keep using the track for the entire day on the house. Chin Han thanks him for his kindness, but emphasizes that he is curious and asks what kind of work the protagonist has. Lin Yi laughs and says that he is just a simple ride-hailing driver and needs to go back to taking rides so he does not lose money. He goes to Qingyan's house, and her employees say that her car has already arrived. She's impressed, saying that it was very fast because she has not even finished changing yet. Lin Yi enters the house and places his finger on her lips, saying that she must never tell a man that he was too fast. She gets a little embarrassed and says that he is annoying, but they need to get straight to the point. She asks him to come in and wait for her. She tells him to stay on the computer, playing or watching something while she finishes drying her hair. Lin Yi sees that a new email has arrived for her on the computer. She says that maybe it is just a business document and asks him not to worry about it. Lin Yi emphasizes that it does not seem to be a business email, because it says that her black lace underwear has been shipped. In addition, there is also another email, but she runs over and asks him to stop looking. She pushes him but ends up tripping, and the protagonist tries to hold her, but her clothes start coming off. She says that unfortunately, she has a good sense of balance, but then they notice what had happened. She gets embarrassed and runs out of the room. He warns her that he was going to say it was just spam, but she came running. Qingyan asks him to be quiet for a moment because now she is very embarrassed. A little later, she finishes and asks him how she looks in that outfit because she is going to a meeting later. Lin Yi tells her that dress is enough for her to participate in beauty contests. Besides, he also thinks that outfit is very suitable for her to do the S squats. She leans against the protagonist's chest, asking him not to worry because She has not forgotten that she still owes him 9 squats. So, she will close the curtains and do everything she needs to do. She pulls the curtain, and the protagonist sits on the sofa, saying that he is ready for the show. She starts making light movements, doing her best to satisfy him. Sometime later, she was exhausted and says that now her promise has already been fulfilled, so they need to go to the Zhongtang Maritime and land exchange. But Lin Yi asks her to wait just 1 minute because he needs to do something really quick in the bathroom. Half an hour later, he comes out relieved and with a smile on his face. While they were leaving, she asks why he had stopped at the door. The protagonist says that an acquaintance appeared. She's surprised, asking if he really has a friend there. Lin Yi explains that in fact, the two of them only met yesterday, but she probably knows him a little better. As soon as she looks, she sees her father and mother. Her father laughs and asks if the two of them have already finished doing what they needed to do. Qingyun gets embarrassed and asks her father what he is talking about and when they arrived there. He explains that they arrived a little while ago, but he saw that the two of them had the curtains closed, so he decided not to interfere. Her mother also laughs, saying that she is a very silly girl, and asks why she gets so embarrassed because that is a normal adult need, and they all understand what is happening. Qingyan becomes more and more embarrassed and tells her mother that it is not exactly what she is thinking because she was only changing clothes. Her mother says that it is fine because she knows the two of them were only changing clothes inside. Her father says that, from the looks of it, the two of them were planning to go out so they will not disturb them anymore. Her mother tells the protagonist that they should not treat each other like strangers and emphasizes that her daughter's grandfather's birthday is the day after tomorrow, so she invites him to show up. Lin Yi feels a little awkward but ends up agreeing and says that he will come. As soon as the two of them leave, the protagonist asks her if she is still going out and she says yes. They arrive at the destination and the protagonist opens the door for her, asking her not to forget to give him a 5-star rating, and when she is done, she just needs to place an order for him to come back. Qingyan looks at him and says that, from the looks of it, ride-hailing drivers really know how to say sweet things. She emphasizes that he is a handsome man and is sure that he always receives good ratings. He laughs, saying that unfortunately he cannot help it because this is his job now. She gets out of the car and the protagonist asks her to contact him if she needs anything else. Ling Wei once again congratulates the protagonist for driving safely for 100 kilometers. The reward is 200,000 proficiency points. Now he has already completed 55% of his first career, and the reward is 21% of the shares of the ride-hailing company he works for. He is surprised, saying that he has only done a few jobs and is already the CEO of the ride-hailing company. Ling Wei explains that the headquarters of the ride-hailing app is in Yangcheng, with a market value of more than 500 billion. So, if he decides to sell his stake, he could take 10 billion home. The protagonist hugs her, saying that with the current income, there seems to be no need to sell it. So it is better to keep it and receive a few hundred million in dividends every year. In addition, she emphasizes that his career has already reached 55% completion, and if he completes another 35%, he can open a new career. However, upon completing 100% of the career, he will be rewarded even more generously. He's impressed to learn this and shouts, saying that he will continue being a ride-hailing driver. He receives a new order from Starbucks in an area of the Huangpu district. He decides to accept that last order since the route seems very smooth, and after that he will go back home. Xu Yang was outside taking some pictures. Suddenly, the protagonist stops the Pagani beside her. He lowers the window and asks if she is Miss Xu, with the number ending in 0389. She is surprised and says yes. She thinks that she dressed so well that day that even a rich kid became interested in her. She starts smiling, happy as can be, and the protagonist asks her to get in the car. Without thinking twice, she gets in, puts on the seatbelt and introduces herself, saying her name. She says that it is a pleasure to meet him and asks where he would like to take her, but she needs to warn him that she is not someone who is very easy to please. Lin Yi gets a little confused, asking if she was not the one who placed the order for him to take her to Kyushu Court. She is surprised, asks if he is a ride-hailing driver, and tells him to stop lying because it is impossible for a driver to be driving such an expensive sports car. Lin Yi explains that this is a new version of the ride-hailing service, a luxury version. She gets upset and starts complaining, saying that she got happy for nothing because she thought she had found a rich kid but never imagined he was a driver. Completely awkward, he thinks that she is just a two-faced woman who changes her attitude very quickly. While he was driving, she starts complaining, asking him to drive a little slower because the pictures she had taken came out a little blurry. Besides, if such a good car gets scratched, he will not be able to pay for the repair. The protagonist gets irritated and says that the car is his. However, she starts laughing, asking him to stop pretending, questioning whether he really thinks he will be able to get with her, just because he decided to do that. Lin Yi asks if he really looks like he is pretending to her. Yang explains that he is just a smelly part-time worker, so he does not need to brag so much. The protagonist becomes even more nervous, asking what she means by smelly part-time worker, and asking if she does not work part-time too. She says that she may be a part-time worker, but she is still nobler than him since he is being a ride-hailing driver and cannot even afford her shoes. He slams on the brakes, almost making her hit her head. She gets irritated and asks what is wrong with him and what he is doing with the brakes. The protagonist emphasizes that if she is as good as she says, she can buy her own car and drive as much as she wants because he will no longer take her, and he orders her to get out of the car immediately. She gets out of the car and continues insulting him, saying that she will give him a bad rating and will also call consumer complaints and report him. Linyi emphasizes that she insulted his profession and still wants to give him a rating. He needs to warn her that the car has monitoring, so he doubts that she will succeed with her complaint. He goes to the Kyushu pavilion and receives a notification saying that he received a bad rating. He is surprised seeing that that girl really did that to him. The regional agent of the ride-hailing company calls him and starts shouting, asking what is wrong with him, because someone called headquarters to file a complaint, and if that happens again, it will be deducted from his salary as a security deposit. The protagonist tells him to feel free to deduct it because he does not need that little bit of money. The regional manager asks what kind of attitude that is and whether he believes or not that he will suspend his operating qualification. Linyi says that from the looks of it, he really wants to stop him from working without even investigating the situation. Because of that, he would like to ask whether the regional manager has already thought about the consequences of such an act. But the agent gets even more nervous, asking how the protagonist dares to threaten him, because now he only needs to wait, since he will receive a punishment. Zhou Xuan greets the protagonist, welcoming him to his new home. He introduces himself, saying that he is the property manager and that he will accompany him to become familiar with the environment there. He starts introducing the place, saying that all 9 houses are of the highest quality. All the furniture there is soft and was personally designed by the best national interior designer. The protagonist sits down to try it and says that it really is not bad at all and is quite comfortable. Zhuan explains that they have screened several personal housekeepers for him, and those who pass the preliminary interview are in the property office. So, if he has time, they could go there so he can take a look. The protagonist agrees and says that he would like to go with him to take a look. As soon as they arrive at the property's conference room, Yang is surprised and shouts, pointing at the protagonist, saying that she cannot believe it is him. Zhuan gets angry with her and asks what she is doing. She explains to the manager that the protagonist is the ride-hailing driver she met on the street. Linyi asks why that woman is there, and whether she is there to work as a maid. Yang remains irritated, saying that what she is doing there is none of his business, because how does a mere driver dare to come to a place like that? He's very poor and should know that this place is not where he belongs. Xuan slaps her in the face, asking what is wrong with her and how she dares to treat Mr. Linyi that way, because he is the owner of the entire Kyushu court. Yang asks why he hit her, because there is no way he can be the owner, since he is just a ride-hailing driver, and she has the order on her phone to prove it. Linyi scolds the manager, asking how that is possible and whether that is how everyone thinks, that a ride-hailing driver cannot buy a house in that place. The manager tries to smooth things over, saying that this is not true, because they have no such restrictions against that kind of thing. Zhuan asks Yang to apologize immediately. She gets confused, wondering in her head if he really is the owner of that place, because if that is true, then maybe he is only driving to experience life. She decides to beg, saying that she knows very well that she acted wrongly and asks him to give her another chance. Linyi tells the manager that she has terrible bad breath and asks him to remove her from there immediately. The manager and another worker take her outside. Zhuan returns and introduces the other 4 personal housekeepers he personally selected, but the protagonist looks at their faces and says that they do not look very happy, so they can go back. Besides, he will give each of them 5,000 to cover their travel expenses. Qingyun sends him a message telling him to pick her up, because she is already ready to place the order. He tells the manager that he needs to return to work and asks him to choose some new housekeepers. Before the protagonist arrives, one of Qingyun's friends asks her not to leave yet and to stay for the next scene. Ding Yi arrives and says that it is a good idea because they have not seen each other for many years, so they can have some fun, and afterward he will take her home. Qingyun refuses, saying that she has a lot of work to do and that her taxi will arrive soon. Her friend says that this is not very safe nowadays, so it is better for her to let Ding Yi take her home. Qingyun refuses again, saying that it is fine because the driver is a great friend of hers. The protagonist enters and Qingyun calls him. Her friend is impressed, asking if the two of them are really friends because the protagonist is very handsome and could be a model. Ding Yi starts feeling threatened and asks what good it does for someone to be handsome if he is just a ride-hailing driver. Lin Yi asks what is wrong with being a driver. Ding Yi laughs and says that it is nothing, because he is just very lucky to know Qingyan. The protagonist asks what is so great about knowing her. Ding Yi tells Qingyan that, from the looks of it, her friend is not very smart because he is a mere driver, and even so he has a sense of superiority. She defends him, saying that he really should have that sense. Her friend starts mocking him, saying that this is an idiot sense of superiority, since Ding Yi bought a top-of-the-line Mercedes G-Class. On the other hand, the protagonist will not be able to buy that kind of car, even if he saves money for the rest of his life. Qingyan just ignores them and asks the protagonist not to be too harsh on them because they drank too much, then calls him to leave. Ding Yi feels humiliated when he sees that she was defending that poor loser, so he needs to show his true financial power. They all go together to the parking lot and Ding Yi takes out his key and starts his car. The blonde woman is impressed, saying that it is a very expensive car. But Ding Yi explains that it is not that expensive because it only cost a little over 2 million, and soon he will buy a Lamborghini when he becomes a little richer. Qingyan points out that if she remembers correctly, when they were in college, he had said that his favorite car, the one he always dreamed of having, was the Pagani Windchild. Ding Yi laughs, saying yes, and that it cost 28 million. Even if he tried to save money his whole life, it would be impossible to buy it. The blonde girl says that there is a Pagani right beside them. Ding Yi runs over there and says that it really is a Pagani Windchild. The protagonist approaches and asks if he's done looking, asking if he could move aside. Ding Yi asks if the protagonist also wanted to see the car, but he needs to emphasize that it is not something someone like him sees every day, so he should not even blink. Lin Yi takes out the car key and opens the door, asking the first lady to get in. The two of them are impressed, and Ding Yi asks if that really is the protagonist's car, questioning whether he was not just a ride-hailing driver, so how could he have that car? Lin Yi asks who said that a ride-hailing driver cannot drive a Pagani. He asks Ding Yi not to let poverty limit his imagination. He drives away, and Qingyan apologizes for what happened because she never imagined that the two of them could be so snobbish. The protagonist emphasizes that he does not care about that and asks if she would like him to take her home. Qingyan says no and explains that she would like to go to the beach to relax a little since she drank a little wine. She emphasizes that she will change the destination location in the app. The protagonist agrees, saying that there is no harm in going out and getting some fresh air to get rid of the wine's alcohol. A new system task appears. He needs to receive 10 5-star ratings with a reward of 100,000 experience points. So far, he has already received 9 ratings with only 4 left, but he thinks that he can already add one more, so that means he has a total of 7 positive ratings. As soon as they arrive at the beach, Qingyan asks him to look the other way. The protagonist gets furious, asking if she's going to put on her bikini. Qingyan says no and explains that she is only going to walk along the beach, so she would like to take off her stockings. Lin Yi looks at her and asks why he should avoid watching her take off her stockings, because she should not be embarrassed unless she was not wearing underwear. She gets embarrassed and pinches him, saying that of course she is wearing underwear. Besides, he does not need to look the other way as long as he does not look directly at her. She takes off her stockings and gets out of the car, calling him to take a walk on the beach. While they walk, she points out that her parents keep insisting that he go to her grandfather's birthday, so when the time comes, maybe he could. The protagonist interrupts her, asking if she wants to ask him to pretend to be her boyfriend. He says that there is no problem, because he can take care of that for her, since she has been working so hard to do the squats. She gets a little embarrassed, but says that at least he has some awareness. She notices that the lights of the Kyushu pavilion are all on, and asks if that is not normal. She explains that the pavilion has never been sold because of its high price, and this is the first time she has seen the pavilion lit up at night. Lin Yi says that if that is the case, then he will take her there to show her the place, and if she likes it, maybe they can sleep there. Qingyan starts laughing, saying that sleeping there is just a beautiful dream. The protagonist holds her hand, saying that if she says so, that is fine. However, he still wants to show her a little more. As soon as they arrive at the entrance, she says that she participated in the bidding for that land back at the beginning, but the result was cancelled in the first round because of insufficient funds. Lin Yi says that either way, she is still the president of a company, so she does not need to show such an envious expression just from seeing the entrance. She gets a little embarrassed, asking who is envious, and changes the subject, saying that she heard the indoor swimming pool uses mineral water transported by air, and she's just curious. He takes her hand and asks why she needs to be so curious, because he will show her the inside. Qingyan gets worried about that idea, saying that just looking from there is already good enough. They cannot simply enter that place because it would be horrible to be thrown out afterward. Lin Yi, like a great player, laughs and asks what he gets if he manages to get her inside. She gets excited and winks at him, saying that if that happens, then she will enter the pool in a bikini and give him a great show. Linyi wastes no time, saying that he would really like to experience that feeling and opens the car door. She gets worried, asking if he is crazy and if they are really going in. They start entering, and all the workers, security guards, and butlers form a line and bow before the protagonist's car. Qingyan asks what is going on there, because the pavilion was supposed to have the highest level of security, but everyone simply let them in. The protagonist laughs, saying that it was not that difficult, just as he had said. As soon as they arrive inside, she's impressed to see that even fruit trees were planted there. Linyi asks if she wanted to eat something because he could pick some fruit for her, but she says there is no need. A little farther ahead, she sees the pool and is enchanted. Linyi says that now that they have already seen the pool, it is time for the young lady to fulfill her promise. Embarrassed, she explains that she does not have a bikini with her and also does not know how to swim, but they can talk about that later. The protagonist gets a little embarrassed but agrees to talk about it a little later. However, he makes it very clear that she cannot go back on her word. Qingyan asks him not to worry because she promises that she will do exactly what she said. Since the place is very large, they need to go back. The protagonist asks if she would not like to take a look inside the house, but she laughs, saying that they were already very lucky to be able to stay in the courtyard. If they go any farther inside, they will definitely be accused of trespassing. Linyi keeps insisting and says that there is no one in that property, so she does not need to be afraid. However, she remains scared, saying that they should not go in there and need to leave. But Linny places his hand on the fingerprint reader, and the system welcomes him home. She is completely surprised and asks if that really is his house. The protagonist explains that he just bought it, and in fact, he bought it the day before. Since she is there, they can take a look inside. Qingyan gets angry with him because he just tricked her. As soon as they enter, she is enchanted by the place, saying that everything is very beautiful and comfortable, and asks how much he spent on that house. The protagonist says that he does not know exactly, but it was around a few billion. Qingyan says that he is trying to trick her again because the most expensive house in that place costs only 1,200,000,000. So how could he have spent several billion unless he bought the entire pavilion? The protagonist sits on the sofa and says that is exactly it, he bought the entire pavilion. She is so impressed that she asks what he is talking about and whether it is possible that he has a money tree. Linyi thinks of Ling Wei and says that actually it is a little easier than having a money tree. She also sits on the sofa and asks if making money really is that easy, because now it makes sense why he wanted to experience life as a ride-hailing driver. She thinks that the sofa she is sitting on is extremely comfortable, as if it is hugging and massaging her skin. Linyi goes over to her and says that he does not want her to leave now because it is already very late, so she can stay there and choose which house or which room she wants to sleep in. She agrees, saying that it is indeed very late and that she will not refuse to sleep there, but he needs to promise that he will take her to work tomorrow. Excited by that idea, she asks if he has any women's pajamas there, but the protagonist explains that he lives alone and does not have women's pajamas. However, he emphasizes that he will not peek at her, so if she wants to sleep with nothing on, she can feel free, because he heard that it is very good for the skin. Qingyan gets embarrassed, questioning how she could sleep naked in someone else's house. The protagonist laughs and says that he will not pressure or tease her. He will go upstairs and look for something she can wear. Meanwhile, she goes to the bathroom and starts taking a shower. Linny sits outside the room reading a book. Suddenly, he hears a noise and gets worried, asking if she's all right. Qingyan, who is sitting on the floor with a trembling voice, asks him to come in for a moment and shouts that she fell. The protagonist rushes in worried, asking if she got hurt. But as soon as he opens the door, he is surprised by her beautiful body. With a pitiful expression, she says that she unfortunately twisted her ankle and asks if he could be a good man and help her finish her shower. The protagonist takes a deep breath and goes over to her, saying that he will help her stand up first. The two stare at each other, and the atmosphere becomes a little hotter. The protagonist wastes no time and grabs her tightly, asking if the water temperature is good. She breathes heavily while shouting his name. The next morning, she opens the curtains and, with a smile on her face, calls the protagonist a lazy little pig and tells him to get up, because she will end up arriving late to work if he keeps stalling. But the protagonist says that it is very difficult for him to have the energy to wake up in the morning and take her to work after last night. She gets angry and tells him to hurry up, because if he does that, she will give him 5 stars. The protagonist smiles and says that this is how he likes to wake up. A little later at the Peninsula Hotel, the protagonist thinks that he has already dropped Qingyan off at work, but since he got up in a hurry, he did not have time to eat anything. So he will enter the hotel to have breakfast and then start working. The doorman welcomes his boss. The protagonist thanks him, saying that he is there to have breakfast. The young man says that if that is the case, then he will ask the kitchen to prepare it immediately, but the protagonist refuses, saying that he feels like being a little discreet, so he will cook for himself. The man agrees and says goodbye. The protagonist goes to his table and calls the waitress to take his order, but as soon as she arrives, Linny is surprised to see his former boss Liliu working there. Liliu starts acting arrogantly again, saying that it is a great coincidence because she never thought that scum like the protagonist would be there. She asks if he has no shame because he was fired by her and she received a lawsuit the next day. The protagonist throws the menu on the table, questioning how she dares to scold a customer. But Liliu gets irritated and tells him to get real, questioning how someone like him can say he is a customer of the Peninsula Hotel because he is just a boy who has a relationship with a rich woman and still wants to think he's the best in the world. Another waitress approaches and tells manager Liliu that this customer seems quite unusual, so it would be better for her to stop saying those things. But Liliu questions what is so unusual about him and emphasizes that the protagonist had worked for her, but with his good looks, he managed to win the heart of the company's CEO. If he did not have a rich woman supporting him, he would never in his entire life have the money to eat at the Peninsula Hotel. People start looking. Linyi says that this is a pity and asks the other waitress to go get Jianlong. The other young woman is surprised and says that it is all right, but Liliu keeps acting arrogantly, saying that from the looks of it, the protagonist even knows the general manager's name and asks if he wants to receive praise for that. But one thing is certain, she doubts Jianlong knows the name of a customer who should not even be there. A low-level customer like the protagonist. Besides, he probably saw the manager's name somewhere, like in some news article or newspaper. Linyi says that from the looks of it, she really cannot learn from her own mistakes, but for the sake of an old colleague, he will let the situation go. Suddenly, the manager comes running and she looks at him, saying that that poor man is there to cause trouble, so he needs to call security to throw him out immediately. Jianlong points his finger at her, irritated, asking if she is blind, and questions if she knows who she is trying to throw out because he is the owner of that entire place. So if she tries to throw him out, she is the one who will be thrown out immediately. Liliu panics, asking if he really is the owner of that place, but emphasizes that this is impossible because he was her coworker and is just a loser. Because of that, the manager must have been deceived by him. The manager pushes her, saying that from the looks of it, she was the one deceiving him until now, and asks how someone like her passed the Peninsula Hotel's interview. Because of that, she will be blacklisted immediately, and now he wants to see which company will dare to hire her. He calls the security guards to remove that crazy woman from there immediately. As she is dragged out, she shouts the protagonist's name, asking if he really is the owner of the Peninsula Hotel because she was blind. Jianlong looks at the protagonist and begs for forgiveness, saying that he is very sorry for all that commotion during breakfast. Linyi says that it is fine, but asks the manager to make sure that next time they conduct a more detailed evaluation because he does not want to hire anyone who lacks good character and judges people. But now that the matter is resolved, he needs to eat. He asks the manager to hurry up and bring something because he is starving. Jianlong laughs and apologizes once again, saying that he will have the kitchen serve him immediately. Suddenly, he receives a call. The person introduces herself as Tian Yan, Senior Vice President of the ride-hailing company, and as president of the company, Tian Yan would very much like to meet him. Because of that, she's calling to ask when the protagonist will be available. Linyi says that unfortunately he has work to do now in the morning, but he will contact her later. The woman says that it is fine and that she will call him in the afternoon. Xiao Yan, Tianyan's assistant, asks if the protagonist agreed to meet her. Tianyan, the company's vice president, says that it was not necessarily that because he only said to call later. Because of that, she will visit Jelix in the morning since they are the largest agents there. Xiao Yan agrees and says that if that is the plan, then she will call the registered driver immediately. Coincidentally, the order went to the protagonist. He was supposed to leave the Peninsula Hotel and go to the Jelix company store. He thinks that it is right there and that he cannot refuse a ride that is at his door. He goes to pick up the passenger and asks if she is Miss Tian Yan. She says yes and thinks that the protagonist is a very handsome man. He asks her to get in because the car she called is right there. Tian Yan is impressed, asking what he said and whether he really is a ride-hailing driver. Xiaoyan is also impressed and asks when their company became so powerful that a ride-hailing driver could drive an extremely expensive sports car. Linyi opens the door saying that he is very fast and cannot stay parked for too long, so he would like them to get in immediately. She smiles, charmed by the car and by his smile, and quickly gets into the car. While in the car, she says that the protagonist is a ride-hailing driver with a Pagani, so he must only be there to experience life. And maybe many girls have already told him that it is a little exciting when they get inside the car. The protagonist laughs, saying that the way she put it makes him sound like a real scumbag. He asks if there are any rules saying that if he has a supercar, he cannot be a ride-hailing driver. Tian Yan says that he can, but he needs to be very careful with what he says and does. If he does anything that defames the ride-hailing company, he could end up being suspended. The protagonist is surprised and asks if she has so much power that she can suspend his license whenever she wants. Tian Yan explains that she is the senior vice president of the ride-hailing company and asks if he really thinks she does not have the right to suspend someone's license. Lin Yi says that is what she says because he is also a shareholder of the company. She shows her work ID to prove that she really is the vice president. The protagonist is surprised, saying that this is an incredible coincidence, because he was not lying either. Yesterday, he bought 21% of the shares, and she called him a short while ago, saying that she wanted to meet him. Tianyan is surprised and asks if he is Lin Yi. The protagonist says yes, and she panics, saying that she is very sorry for offending him. She asks if he can give her another chance for them to sit down and talk when that ride is finished. The protagonist says they will deal with that later because he still needs to finish a few rides first. They finally arrive at the destination, and she says that as soon as he finishes, he just needs to contact her, and thanks him for taking her there. As soon as she tries to pay, she realizes that something is wrong and asks what is happening since she cannot pay. The protagonist also finds it strange and says that he will see what is going on. As soon as he looks at the app, he receives a message saying, "Dear driver, since you violated the platform's regulations, we have decided to suspend you now." The message had been sent by Jelix Corporation. He is surprised and thinks that maybe it was that guy who called him last time. As soon as the two get out of the car, he asks her what her relationship with that company is. Tianyan explains that the company is their operator in the coastal area. Irritated, she thinks about what Jelix is doing, because if they offend one of the main shareholders, they will all be screwed. Lin Yi thinks that this probably happened yesterday, because that woman must have complained to the platform again. Tianyan tries to calm the situation, telling the protagonist not to worry, because she will personally take care of this matter. They even dared to suspend his license, so she will go in right now and find out what is going on, and she will make his license return immediately. But the protagonist asks her to wait and emphasizes that the two of them will go upstairs together, because he wants to take a look. As soon as they enter the meeting room, Wenda Lu, the president of Jelix, shouts, asking who they are and how they dare to barge into the meeting room. The protagonist introduces himself and says his name, saying that Wenda Lu just suspended his license, so he is there to talk personally. Wenda Lu tells Yuanfa, the operations manager, that this is a matter for his department, so he needs to handle what is going on. Yuanfa looks at the protagonist and starts shouting at him, saying that he is a very arrogant kid and even had the nerve to come there after someone complained, stating that he is suspended and that no matter what happens, he needs to leave immediately before someone calls security. Lin Yi simply sits in a chair and tells Tianyan that it is better for her to handle that matter. She shouts, saying that the suspension needs to be undone immediately because they must not have even investigated it. And as the company's vice president, she is removing Jelix as the company's operating agency. Wenda Lu is surprised and shouts, asking if she really is the vice president. She throws her ID on the table and everyone is surprised. Wenda Lu asks what is going on and how the vice president was alerted. Yuanfa tries to explain the matter to her, saying that the person beside her is suspected of insulting one of the passengers, so he blocked him, because he could give the company a bad image and damage its reputation. Tianyan asks if they already investigated the passenger who was supposedly insulted, because the person they are accusing just bought 21% of the shares yesterday and is now the second largest shareholder of the company. So how are they so sure that this person insulted a passenger? Wenda Lu cannot believe it, saying that maybe she could be joking about the situation because that kid is just a driver. Tianyan slams the table and tells them to shut up immediately, explaining that the protagonist was going to visit the company to learn more about its business, and they suspended him without even investigating or asking why. So, if they like canceling other people's licenses so much, from now on, their company's status as an operator is also canceled. Wenda Lu argues with Wenfa, asking how he could cancel a license without investigating, so he needs to apologize to Lin Yi immediately, or he will be killed right there. Yuanfa kneels in front of the protagonist, saying that all of this is his fault and begging him not to revoke their company's operational qualification. The protagonist kicks him, asking if he was not very aggressive just a moment ago, because from the looks of it, with their morals, the number of people who have been bullied by him over the years must not be small. He stands up and says that, as a shareholder of the ride-hailing company, he approves the vice president's decision, so their operation is disqualified. He receives a call from Qingyan and asks Tianyan to take care of the rest because he needs to answer a call. As soon as he answers, she says that tomorrow is her grandfather's birthday, so she would like to buy some clothes that night, and they will buy clothes for the protagonist as well. He agrees and says that he will pick her up at night. As soon as he hangs up, he thinks that obviously he cannot go empty-handed to the birthday, so what would that old man like to receive? Ancient paintings or calligraphy? Tianyan appears smiling and explains that she has already taken care of everything, that his license has been unblocked, and that he has received maximum access. The protagonist is surprised by this news and asks if drivers also have different permissions. She explains that they are only additional support functions. However, one of the options is that users can place an order by searching for his license plate number and specify the request, so it will only be up to the driver to accept it or not. Linyi is impressed, saying that this is a great feature and very useful. He says that he has an old man's birthday to attend and asks if she knows a good place that sells ancient paintings. She asks if a painting by Zhang Daqian would be good. He is surprised, asking if she can really get a Zhang Daqian painting. She says that President Chung acquired a painting of his called Peach Garden, and if the protagonist wants it, she can send her assistant to pick it up immediately. Linyi asks how much it will cost because he will give her the money right away. Tianyan asks if he is joking because how would they dare ask for his money? She only needs to know where to send the painting. Linyi laughs and asks her to send it to the manager of the Peninsula Hotel. Besides, he does not like owing favors to people, so he will give her 1% of his equity in exchange for the painting, and then they will be even. Tianyan is surprised because 1% of the protagonist's equity from the ride-hailing company alone is more than 500 million, and that is very generous. Linyi thanks her for all her help and says that he needs to go now. She can continue operating the same way as before because he will not interfere much. Before he leaves, she says that the president would like to invite him to visit them in Yangcheng. He interrupts her and says that he will go there soon and will contact her when the time comes. As he walks, he thinks that it has been a long time since he last went to the orphanage where he grew up in Yangcheng, so he needs to find some time to visit. While he was driving, he receives a notification saying that he has just received another 5-star rating. He thinks that this is very good, because with one more 5-star order, he will complete his mission. He receives a new order and thinks that this is a huge coincidence, because this order is exactly to take someone to his hotel. Yang Tianxin was on the phone, telling her boyfriend not to worry and to wait for her at the hotel, because she bought many new pieces of lingerie, and if he behaves, she will show him everything. Suddenly, the protagonist stops the car in front of her and asks if she is the passenger. She is surprised and asks who he is. Linyi laughs and explains that he is the ride-hailing driver she requested. As soon as she gets into the car, she says that the company, from the looks of it, is very good at coming up with original marketing techniques. The protagonist explains that it is not the company's idea because the car is his. However, she keeps questioning him, saying what rich kid would become a ride-hailing driver while driving a Pagani? Does he think she is one of those girls who has never seen the world? The protagonist takes a deep breath and thinks that this woman is truly annoying, but he only needs to complete the task because that is the most important thing. He takes a detour and she gets irritated, asking what he is doing and why he took a detour if he is trying to make her pay more. Linyi tries to explain that it is not a detour because he goes to that hotel often, so he knows a shortcut. She remains extremely nervous, shouting that it is a lie because, from the looks of it, he only wanted to take a detour to make the trip longer. She emphasizes that she is in a big hurry. He looks at the bags and sees that she bought some lingerie to go to the hotel, so maybe she's thinking of doing that. They arrive at the side entrance of the Peninsula Hotel and she gets out of the car. The protagonist looks at her, thinking that he is sure they do not have anything serious because she did not even want to enter through the front door. He receives a notification saying that he received only a 1-star rating. He gets angry, saying that woman is truly annoying and that it seems hard to get a 5-star rating. However, he decides to let it go and quickly go pick up Qingyan. He arrives at the mall parking lot. While carrying some bags for her, he points out that she still has not given him a 5-star rating, but she says that this will depend only on his performance that day. He walks beside her and says that from the looks of it, she wants him to hold the bags for her. She smiles, saying that there is a bikini store right up ahead and that they can go in to buy one. Linyi says that is a great idea because after she buys a bikini, she can fulfill her promise. She gets embarrassed, saying that she would not have made that promise if she had known from the beginning that he owned the entire pavilion. The protagonist laughs and pushes her inside, saying that he did not force her to do anything because she made the promise on her own. The saleswoman greets the two of them and asks how she can help them. A little later, Qingyan comes back and stamps her foot, saying that they have shopped enough and asks to leave. Linyi is surprised and says that she did not buy anything. Embarrassed, she says that none of them fit and asks him to buy what he needs so they can leave. But the protagonist says that if she does not buy, he will not either, and asks if she did not like the styles there. She goes over to him and explains that the truth is that the size is not right and they do not have it there. The saleswoman hears this and says that they have a full range of bikinis in sizes A, B, C, and D. Linyi looks at Qingyan's attributes and smiles, asking the saleswoman if she does not have size. Qingyan gets embarrassed and runs out of the store, saying that she will kill him when they get home. The protagonist laughs and asks her not to be so angry because If they do not have the size there, they just need to go to another store nearby. And there is one store that seems to be quite famous. As soon as they enter another store, the protagonist is impressed, asking if that will not get ruined in the water. Qingyan gets jealous and tells him to get out of there quickly because that is not a bikini. They go to another part of the store and she asks the saleswoman where the bikinis are. The woman points to the side saying that those are the last bikinis in the store. Qingyan looks at the bikinis, picks up one that is a little bigger, and asks the protagonist what he thinks of it because she finds it very beautiful. Linyi does not agree because he does not believe it will show enough of her strong points. She gets a little confused, asking what strong points. Linyi picks up another bikini and says that one is definitely the most appropriate. She gets embarrassed but ends up agreeing to please him. She goes to the saleswoman and hands over the bikini the protagonist chose, asking her to wrap it in size E. The protagonist picks up the other one she had shown before, saying that he will take that one too. Qingyan is surprised, saying that she thought he did not like that one. The protagonist says that actually he liked the one she just bought, but that bikini is for her to wear only in his presence, with no one else around. On the other hand, she can wear the bikini she liked when she goes out to have fun. She gets even more embarrassed, but agrees. As soon as they finish buying the bikinis, she says that they need to take a look on the fourth floor, because there are some niche brands of custom dresses there and they are not bad. As soon as they arrive, she is enchanted by one of the dresses and tells the saleswoman that she would like to try it on. The saleswoman praises her, saying that she has a great eye because that is the latest model. While she was trying on the dress, Linny was waiting outside. She appears and calls him to help. He laughs, saying that this is a women's fitting room and asks if it is really appropriate for him to go in there. Qingyan asks him to stop talking nonsense because she only asked him to come in there to help her tighten the zipper in the back since she cannot do it herself. As soon as he enters, he sees her back and gets a little jealous, asking if she's not showing too much. She explains that there is still a shawl to cover her back. Linyu looks at her bra on the chair and asks if she is sure it is size E, because he feels like it is more like size F. She gets embarrassed, saying that she cannot wear her underwear with that dress, so she is not wearing any, and asks him to stop staring so intensely. He helps her close the zipper, and she asks if it looks good. He says that it does not look good, it looks great. She is happy and laughs, saying that if he liked it that much, then she will take that one. The saleswoman is also happy, saying that the dress was made for her because it matched her perfectly. Two people enter the store and the woman tells Zhang that she found that dress beautiful and also wants one. He asks the saleswoman to bring a dress in that same style, but she says she is very sorry because there is only one set of custom models, but they can choose other styles. Zhang says that if that is the case, then she should just take the one that woman is wearing, asking the saleswoman to look at the appearance of the two of them and questioning whether she really thinks they can pay. Qingyan goes over to the two of them and asks who said that she cannot pay. The blonde woman starts laughing, saying that the dress costs more than 80,000 and asks if she is really sure she can afford it. Qingyan laughs, saying that she can pay for it herself, unlike that luxury escort who is selling herself. The blonde woman gets irritated, asking if she is saying that she is poor, but Qingyan asks her to calm down and not bark so loudly. Zhang goes to the saleswoman and says that he will add 20,000 to her commission if she sells that dress to him. But the saleswoman apologizes again, saying that this is against the rules. Zhang shouts, saying that he makes the rules. The protagonist intervenes, saying that if that is the case, then he will add 200,000 to her commission. Besides, if the two of them look closely at the dress, they can see that the size is not suitable for that guy's escort. The saleswoman goes over to Zhang, saying that if he really liked it, she can order another identical one, but he says there is no need because they will not buy anything anymore. Qingyan feels that Lin Yi is a real man and says that since he defended her, she will let him feast his eyes all night. The protagonist laughs, saying that he will be very gentle from now on. She chooses some clothes for the protagonist to try on. As soon as he puts on the clothes, the saleswomen say that he looks like a walking clothes rack because everything he wears looks perfect on his body, and it is a pity that he's not a trainee at that store. Lin Yi asks what Qingyan thinks of those clothes. She bends down to fix the hem of his pants and says that they are already very good, because if he keeps trying on other sets, the saleswomen will end up fainting. Lin Yi asks the saleswoman to bring the machine so he can pay, because he can hardly wait to go home and enjoy the situation. A little later back at the house, he was sitting on a chair in front of the pool. Qingyan appears wearing the bikini he had chosen, and he is so impressed that he says she is more beautiful than any words could describe. Qingyan was also impressed by Lin Yi's abs, thinking that they are very beautiful. He stands up and asks if she likes what she is seeing, because he does not know if it is just his impression, but it seems like she's looking at him quite a lot. Qingyan gets embarrassed and looks away, asking who is looking at him. She sits beside the pool and says that she put on the bikini, so she fulfilled her promise. Linyi holds her and says that he loves people who keep their word. He holds her hand and tells her to join him. She enters the pool but stays clinging to the protagonist's body, asking him not to let go of her because she does not know how to swim. Linyi laughs and asks her to relax, saying that he will not let go, and asks if she would like to learn how to swim because he knows breaststroke, backstroke, and freestyle. She agrees but asks him not to let go of her at any moment because she is very afraid of drowning. The protagonist asks her to relax a little and asks whether she does not trust him or his skills because he cannot even move with her squeezing him with her legs like that. She says that the truth is that she does not trust herself. The protagonist starts teaching her, and she is surprised to see that she is actually floating. However, she ends up losing her balance and starts drowning. Linyi quickly dives after her and starts giving her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The two return to the surface, and he asks if she is still afraid. She takes a deep breath and, a little calmer, says that with him nearby, it does not seem as scary as before. She keeps squeezing him with her legs. He tries to ask her to relax, but she simply hugs him tighter, asking him to just be gentle. They enjoy that moment, and soon after, she goes inside to take a shower. While she is in the bathroom, the protagonist asks if he can use her phone. She says yes and gives him the password. He takes the phone and gives himself 5 stars. Lingwei appears, saying that the system mission has been completed, and the reward is 100,000 proficiency points. His career completion has also increased to 75%, and the reward is Wangjiang Pier. He's so surprised that he asks if he heard correctly because this is the second largest cruise ship terminal in China. Lingwei tells her master that he heard correctly. He has already completed 75% of his career, so he's not far from unlocking his next career. He thinks that if he keeps going at this pace, he will be able to unlock his next profession ahead of schedule. A little later, Qingyan comes out of the shower and says that because of the protagonist, she still has not learned how to swim. He smiles and says that that entire place is free and available for her to learn whenever she wants, and emphasizes that next time, he will teach her a little better. Qingyan notices that there are some patches on the bedding. The protagonist explains that the quilt and pillow on the bed are the ones he took from the orphanage back then, and he is very used to using them, so he did not want to throw them away. Qingyan is surprised and asks if he is an orphan. The protagonist starts explaining that, according to Wang Ma, when he was born, he was sent to an orphanage, and that was where he grew up. She apologizes for making him remember a painful memory. Linyi smiles and asks why she's apologizing because this is not something that hurts him. When he was a child, Wang Ma took care of him and treated him like a son, and he had many friends by his side. She's happy to see that, from the looks of it, he had a lot of fun when he was just a child. She says that now she needs to go to bed, but says that if he can get up early tomorrow and take her to work, then as soon as she finishes working, they can go together to her grandfather's birthday party later. The protagonist agrees. He thinks that he would love to take her to work every day because, that way, he will be able to complete the mission as quickly as possible. In the middle of the night, he receives a call. It was Wang Ma. He asks what she wanted. Wang Ma explains that Cecilia called her and said that the two of them broke up, and Cecilia wanted Wang Ma to call and talk to the protagonist. Linyi says that Wang Ma watched him grow up and knows his character very well because a good horse does not eat old grass. Wang Ma says that from the looks of it, he is still very stubborn. However, she has a friend whose daughter is around the same age as the protagonist and asks if he could meet her tomorrow. Linyi agrees, saying that he would not dare refuse since she is the one asking. So, he will plan to visit her in a few days, and when he is free, he will let her know. Wang Ma says that she arranged for them to meet tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the tea house. She asks him to go to bed early and not be late. As soon as the protagonist hangs up, he thinks that his ex really is very bold. The next day at the tea house, the protagonist arrives saying that he is there to see someone named Song Wenhui. The receptionist says that she already knows because the family had asked her to take him to the table. A woman stands up saying that she is Wenhui's mother, and beside her are her son, her great aunt, and her second aunt. The protagonist greets everyone and sits at the table. The girl's mother starts saying that she heard from the orphanage that he works for a real estate company and asks if she could buy a house from him at the cheapest price. However, the protagonist says that he no longer works there because he was fired. The whole family is a little surprised and asks what he is doing now and whether he is unemployed. The protagonist says that actually he is a ride-hailing driver and can barely pay his bills. The girl's mother asks what is wrong with Wang Ma because, from the looks of it, everything was a lie. When Hui asks her mother not to be so anxious. Although the protagonist's job is not that good, he still has good looks and has that orphanage background, so they need to continue. Her mother calms down and says that her daughter works at a bank and her conditions are not bad, so she hopes that the protagonist can at least pay for an apartment in Zhonghai, not too big, a little over 100 square meters. Linyi is surprised, asking if that would be a full payment. Wenhui fixes her hair and says that if the protagonist really wants to marry her, that should at least be the minimum he needs to offer. He ends up agreeing and asks if they would like anything else. The girl's aunt says that they are an ordinary family and will not be too harsh on the protagonist, so the bride price will be 88,000 for good luck. The protagonist is surprised, asking if that is not already a bit too much. However, the girl's mother says no, because her friend got married a few days ago, and the bride price was 1,600,000. He says that it is fine, but he thinks this is just wanting to sell their own daughter. Her mother gets angry and asks what kind of talk that is, but the protagonist asks her to calm down and go on, asking what else she would like. Her brother says that all that is left now is an imported car worth more than 500,000. It is a cheap car for him to drive, but it will do. Linyi slams the table, saying that according to the family's requirements, at least 10 million will be spent. He emphasizes that in his current situation, how could he possibly get that money? However, the mother remains firm and asks how young people like him expect to get married without depending on their family. This makes Linny furious. He looks at the woman angrily and says that his parents are dead, so how does she expect him to rely on them for anything? The woman is startled, saying that she did not mean to say that. The girl's brother says that they heard the orphanage will be relocated, and when the land is sold, he will receive a sum of money. The protagonist stands up and throws tea all over everyone, saying it is no wonder they were so demanding, because they have their eyes on the orphanage. He emphasizes that he was only trying to deal with them, but in the end, they only want to use the money from the orphanage's sale to buy a house and a car for themselves, and that is disgusting. The protagonist stands up and leaves the table while the girl's mother asks her son if he is all right, because she can take him to the hospital because of the tea. But the boy was completely irritated, saying that he will not forgive that, and gets ready to throw a vase, saying that when the protagonist comes out of there, he will smash him to death. As soon as the protagonist appears outside, he shouts, telling him to go to hell, and throws the vase. Linyi manages to dodge and looks up. The boy, who was at the window, says that he was very lucky to have dodged quickly, otherwise he would be crushed now. Linyi asks if he knows that throwing objects from a height can have serious consequences nowadays. He looks at his car, saying that the flower vase did not manage to hit him, but it damaged his car, so he would like to know how they will compensate him for it. The boy goes downstairs, impressed, and asks if that really is the protagonist's car. Linny says yes and emphasizes that the original price of that car is 28 million, and the paint alone is almost 2 million. So he would like to know if the family will pay in cash or make a bank transfer. Wenhui asks if that car is really his. The protagonist asks if she is deaf and says that they can start thinking about how they are going to pay for it, because he had already complained when they were asking for things. Wenhui hugs him, asking him to calm down a little, and says that her brother is a little too hot-tempered, because even if he does not have a job, she is willing to struggle together with him. Linyi pushes her away, asking her to let go of him immediately, and tells them to get the 2 million within a week. Otherwise, they can wait for the court summons. He gets into the car and starts leaving. The girl's mother hits her, saying that she is useless because she cannot hold on to a man even when he is handed to her on a silver platter. Her brother also starts shouting, saying that they cannot believe they lost a tycoon, and that this is all her fault. Now she has to think about how to compensate him. Linyi goes to Wangjiang Pier and sees that it is full of people there with several luxury cars. A girl was walking with a guy named Miao and apologizes, saying that she accidentally broke a boat seat while they were sailing. She asks him to help her think of a solution, because she did not mean to do that. He is the operations manager of the pier. To take advantage of the situation, he smiles while looking at her and says that this is not so easy to solve because the seats are all made of leather and are very expensive. The girl says that she is just a small internet celebrity and does not have the money to pay, so she offers her own body in exchange. Miao says that it is fine and asks her to go to his office that night because they will talk about how she can pay. The protagonist goes over to the two of them and asks him if he is really going to let it go after she admitted that she broke something at the pier. The woman curses the protagonist, calling him a bastard and saying that this is none of his business. Miao also says that he is the manager, and he is the one who decides whether she will pay or not. The protagonist says that it is fine, however, if he is the manager, he should know that if she does not pay, then he will be the one who pays. Miao remains irritated, saying that he will not pay for anything and asks who he is to be giving orders there. The protagonist goes to the company entrance and the receptionist asks what he needs. The protagonist introduces himself, saying that he is there to speak with manager B. Songjiang. She is surprised to see who he really is and asks him to follow her, because the manager is waiting for him in the meeting room. As soon as he arrives at the room, Songjiang greets him and says that all the executives have been waiting for him for quite some time. The protagonist looks around and says that, from the looks of it, not everyone is there. Songjiang asks him to wait a little because Mr. Miao, the operations department manager, must be busy with work and was probably delayed because of that. The protagonist sits in the chair and says that he is not in a hurry because they can start as soon as the last executive arrives. Songjiang asks Liu to tell the operations manager to go to the meeting as quickly as possible. 5 minutes later, he enters while fixing himself and apologizing for being late. The protagonist asks if he was really that busy. Miao is surprised to see that he is the new president. The protagonist slams the table, asking if now he knows who the meddling bastard is. Miao kneels on the floor, trembling with fear, saying that he was wrong and that he will compensate him, but he needs another chance. Lin Yi says that now it is too late and asks manager Songjiang to call security to remove him from there immediately. Miao is dragged out while shouting and begging for forgiveness. With everything resolved, the protagonist starts the meeting, saying that he was looking around the pier and noticed that there is still plenty of room for improvement. He emphasizes that he would like to modernize the pier and hopes that soon they can present a plan to do that. One of the executives tells the protagonist that the pier is already in second place, so there is no need for so much improvement. Lin Yi emphasizes that he does not like being in second place because the only thing that matters is being first, and that is why he wants to make that place the best in the world. To make that happen, he will pay for the modernization. In addition, the pier's frontline employees will receive a 20% salary increase, and all executives will receive a 10% salary increase. All the executives are extremely grateful for that. As soon as the meeting ends, he receives a message from the hotel manager saying that someone sent a painting and asked for it to be delivered to him. The protagonist thanks him and says that he is going to pick it up immediately. Suddenly, he also receives a call saying that the commemorative edition watch he ordered 3 days ago is ready for delivery and asking if it is possible for him to go there to receive it. The protagonist thinks that after picking up the painting, he needs to go to the birthday party to attend the banquet, so he will not have enough time. He asks the person if they can send it directly to Kyushu Pavilion. However, the store says that unfortunately, it is not possible because the merchandise is extremely valuable, so the orders are that they can only deliver it directly to him. Lin Yi says that if that is the case, then they should have it delivered to East Lake Villa. Sometime later, he arrives at the party location, and Qingyan was waiting for him outside. As soon as he sees her, he looks directly at those beautiful things. She gets embarrassed, saying that she had already asked him not to look at her that way. The protagonist laughs, saying that she stands out so much in that area that it is hard for him not to pay attention. The two enter the party. People are impressed by her beauty and ask who the man beside her is. She goes directly to her grandfather and apologizes for being late. Ji Yongting says that it is fine and, with a smile on his face, says that this is the first boyfriend she has brought there to meet her grandfather. Tianxin, who was also present, says that he is the driver from the other day and says that she is very low class. She goes over to the grandfather, saying that that boy is just a driver, and she even rode in his car, using the company's sports car, because his service attitude was not good and he also wanted to seduce her. Qingyan gets angry and asks what she is talking about. The grandfather gets angry, saying that he cannot believe such a thing exists. Qingyan tries to explain to her grandfather that the car really belongs to the protagonist and that he is only being a driver to experience life. Tianxin says that from the looks of it, she is very stupid and naive, because what rich person would want to experience life by being a ride-hailing driver and going to nightclubs with internet celebrities? Another girl tells everyone to stop arguing and let her cousin's boyfriend arrive to find out whether he is a liar or not. Tianxin introduces her new boyfriend, saying that he is the future cousin-in-law named Fu Zhengping and is an agent of the ride-hailing company in Yangjing. Zhengping explains that last month the company launched the luxury car business, so maybe that gentleman named Lin is just an ordinary driver, and if he is seducing women, he will inform headquarters to investigate this immediately. Tianjin laughs, saying that she did not expect Miss Qingyan to be deceived so easily. Her father asks his daughter what is going on there. She tries to explain once again, saying that her boyfriend is not a fraud, but even her grandfather gets irritated, saying that she is a foolish child, and orders the protagonist to be removed from there because he is not welcome at the birthday party. Suddenly, a car arrives and asks for permission, asking if Mr. Linney is inside. The protagonist says yes. The woman goes over to him, saying that this is the 175th anniversary watch he had purchased. He needs to sign to confirm receipt. They show the watch, and everyone is impressed to see that it is the 175th anniversary model from Patek Philippe. Zhengping says that watch must cost more than 17 million, so how did he manage to buy it? Tianxin starts doubting herself, thinking that maybe she was wrong. The protagonist signs and takes the watch, saying that they can leave because that is no longer any of their business. The guests start praising Yongqing, saying that from the looks of it, his granddaughter really found a very good boyfriend, but with her ability, she would not find a mediocre boyfriend. Yongqing tells Tianxin to apologize immediately because she had judged people wrongly. The other woman says that it is just a misunderstanding and that there is nothing to apologize for because the protagonist is so rich, and yet he does not say a single word, which shows that he does not care much about Qingyan. So he will probably just use her for a few days and then abandon her. Qingyan asks her aunt what she means by that and whether this could possibly be envy. The aunt approaches her and asks her to open her eyes a little because she thought that watch was a gift for her grandfather. But the one wearing it is the protagonist himself. He did not even bring a gift for the birthday man, so he obviously does not care about her. Tianxin says that her mother is right and says that her boyfriend, Zheng Ping, prepared a gift for her grandfather a month in advance. She asks her new boyfriend to show what he had prepared. Zheng Ping goes over to the birthday man and shows it, saying that he heard that he likes ancient things, and that this is a set of bronze coins from the Qing dynasty, which he worked very hard to obtain. Currently, it is valued at more than 2 million and will certainly appreciate even more in a few years. Tianxin asks Qingyan to look carefully, because that is a gift prepared with great care. Her mother says that her daughter is right, and even though Qingyan has a rich boyfriend, he still does not care about her, does not spend a single cent on her. And all of this is in vain. Qingyan starts searching inside her bag and asks who said that her boyfriend did not prepare any gift. She takes something out and tells her grandfather that this is the gift her boyfriend had invested a lot to buy for him. Yongqing is happy, saying that it is a very good gift. But Tianxin tells Qingyan that her boyfriend drives a luxury car worth almost 30 million and wears a watch worth almost 20 million. So how could he give something so cheap? Yongqing says that it is not about value but about intention. But the protagonist touches her shoulder and says that this is the gift she prepared herself and that she does not need to lie for him. Qingyan gets a little embarrassed, asking why he said that. Linyi asks why she is arguing so much because of him, because he really did prepare a gift for her grandfather. She is surprised and asks if he really brought a gift. Linyi goes over to the birthday man, saying that it would be very impolite to come there to celebrate his birthday without any gift in hand. He gives him his gift, saying that he truly hopes he likes it. Yongqing looks at the gift and stands up in shock, shouting that this is Peach Garden by Zhang Daqian. Everyone is impressed, asking if that is really true, because the price of this painting is at least 200 million. Tianxin asks her grandfather if he is sure he is seeing it correctly because that painting is worth 200 million, and she does not see anything special about it. Yongqing explains that this is an authentic painting by Zhang Daqian, and the meaning it contains is not something ordinary people can see. Zheng Ping butts in again, telling the grandfather that maybe he is being deceived because the owner of that painting is President Cheng Shuang, and someone once offered 230 million, but he refused to sell it. So, that painting is probably a fake. Tianxin starts laughing, saying that she did not expect her boyfriend to try to deceive people with a fake, and that is really something that makes her want to laugh. But Qingyan remains calm, saying that she is sure her boyfriend would not deceive people with a fake painting, because he is not that kind of person. Linyi is happy with her and thinks that, although they have not been dating for that long, she really is an excellent girl. Zheng Ping takes the painting and tears it with his own hands, telling everyone that he saw that painting with his own eyes at the president's house. Because of that, he can assure everyone that it is definitely fake. The protagonist smiles, saying that this is very interesting. Qingyan gets angry with him, but Zheng Ping emphasizes that this is the rule of the antique world because when that kind of fake painting is found, it should be destroyed on the spot. Linyi asks his girlfriend not to worry about it because he will take care of everything. He points at Zheng Ping, asking if he had said that he is responsible for the company in the Yangjing area. But now he needs to be informed that his qualification to operate has just been revoked. Zheng Ping laughs, thinking that this is some kind of joke and keeps asking what qualification the protagonist has to say that kind of nonsense. Linyi explains that he has 21% of the ride-hailing company's shares and asks if he really thinks he does not have the right to remove him. Zheng Ping says that maybe that kid is going crazy because there is a limit to how much nonsense a person can say in one day. Qingyan tells the protagonist that now is not the time to joke, since he cannot scare Zheng Ping. But as always, he likes a little game and asks her what happens if he really has 21% of the shares and what he will get that night. She is surprised, saying that even at a time like this, he has time to tease her. Linyi asks Zheng Ping to call the president and ask if he knows someone named Linyi. That way, they can find out whether everything the protagonist just said is true or not. Zheng Ping agrees, saying that he will call, put it on speaker, and let all the lies be exposed in public. As soon as he calls, he tells the president that he is Zheng Ping, an operator in Yangjing, and that he was wondering if the president knows a man named Linyi. The president is surprised and asks if he also met that person, ordering him to be treated in the best way possible because he has 21% of all the shares. and if he's not treated well, then he will be disqualified from the company immediately. But Jungping says that this is wrong because the protagonist had said that he only has 20% of the shares. So maybe they met different people with the same name. The president explains that this was because he had given the famous painting Peach Garden by Jung Dakian to Lin Yi. And since he did not want to take advantage, Lin Yi offered 1% of his shares, which is worth more than 500 million. Jungping starts trembling and drops the phone on the floor. The protagonist says that now that everything is clear and he is the second largest shareholder of the company, he announces that Jungping's operational qualifications have all been revoked. Tianxin shouts at the protagonist not to go too far because today is her grandfather's birthday party, and he does not need to destroy everyone. Her mother says that he is Qingyan's boyfriend and asks if he has no consideration for her family ties. Lin Yi looks at the First Lady and says that if she had asked, then he would do it immediately without hesitation. But on the other hand, they have no right to ask anything of him. Yongqing, who is looking at the completely destroyed painting, says that pity is nonsense. Lin Yi looks at Jungping and says that a short while ago he tore up the Peach Garden painting he had given as a gift, which is worth more than 200 million. So how is he going to pay for that loss? Jungping grabs the protagonist's arm, begging for forgiveness and saying that he did not mean to do that. But the protagonist asks what the police are for if an apology were already enough. He goes over to Tianxin, begging for help, because if she does nothing, he will be completely ruined, but she tells him to leave. Because if he wants her to help pay his debts, he does not even need to think about it because from now on they have nothing to do with each other anymore. Jungping keeps begging, saying that he has been a very good man to her and that she cannot abandon him like this, but she keeps telling him to stay away from her and not dirty her dress. Lin Yi tells him that if he really is a man, he needs to get up from there, because it is not worth humiliating himself like that over just one woman. Tianxin is surprised and asks what he means by that. The protagonist goes over to his girlfriend's father and asks the whole family to go into the living room because he has something to say. Yongqing asks what is so important that he needs to say and why he is being so mysterious. Lin Yi says that it is about Tianxin. She gets irritated and asks him not to act like an idiot and just say what he wants to say because she wants to see what he knows. The protagonist emphasizes that yesterday, when she rode in his car, he took her to the Peninsula Hotel. She asks what that has to do with anything because she had a poker meeting with a friend there, and there is nothing wrong with that. Lin Yi says that is true. There is nothing wrong with it. However, she brought a bunch of erotic items and met two big, strong men to play poker. She is surprised, saying that he is a huge liar. But the protagonist says that he has videos on his phone and will send them to Qingyan's phone. He emphasizes that it is true, and that if she had only had fun behind closed doors, he would not have any proof, but he never imagined she would be so perverted as to take them outside and do that in public. Yongqing sees the video and becomes furious with her, asking how such a shameful thing like her appeared in his family. She falls to her knees, asking her grandfather to give her a chance to explain, because she went to the hotel to meet two friends, but they only talked about business. Yongqing slaps her face, saying that she had said she was playing poker and now changed it to business, asking if she really thinks he is that much of an idiot. Her mother asks her father to calm down a little, because that brat is probably holding a grudge against her and making false accusations. But another man stands up, telling her to stop talking about false accusations because she is only there to watch. Since if those videos had leaked, the entire family would have been humiliated. Lin Yi apologizes for causing so much trouble. However, he emphasizes that he will no longer get involved in family matters, so he will take his leave first. Qingyan goes outside with him and thanks him very much for everything he did. However, she deeply regrets that he bought an extremely expensive gift for nothing. Lin Yi says that it really is a pity that Grandpa's gift was torn up, so she will have to place more orders in the future to make up for it because he cannot watch other people bully her and do nothing. She is happy, thinking that the protagonist was going to ask for something more difficult from her, but he only asked her to place a few more orders. Inside the car, the protagonist says that since he will not have to attend the birthday banquet, it is better to accept a few more orders and finish the mission soon. Another order quickly comes in for him. Yuan was waiting for her ride, and another guy arrives, calling out to her. Yuan asks Marui what he is doing there. He says that he is there to pick her up and take her to school because his father bought him a new BMW. She refuses, saying that she is not interested and that he can go ahead because the car she called is already arriving. He grabs her by the arms, saying that she is the flower of the university's finance department, so she should not ride in a driver's car since his is much better. Yuan keeps shouting that she does not want to and tells him to let go of her immediately. Suddenly, the protagonist's car stops in front of her, and he asks if she is the passenger. She is surprised and says that the last digits of the number are correct. The protagonist asks her to get in the car because he is the driver there to pick her up. Marui is impressed, asking if he really is the driver she called. She gets into the car, telling him to stay away from her because she is going with the driver. Inside the car, she was impressed, telling the protagonist that he was driving an extremely expensive sports car, so why was he still doing ride-hailing trips? Linny explains that it does not matter what kind of car he drives, the important thing is always to make money on his own. She is impressed, saying that he really is incredible. As soon as they arrive at the school, she gets out of the car, asking if she could add him. He asks why she wanted to add him, and she laughs, asking if he believes in love at first sight. Linny is surprised and says that, from the looks of it, she is very innocent, asking how she knows that he is not a bad guy. Besides, next time, she should not keep saying that kind of thing to just anyone. He thinks that girls nowadays are too naive and are not afraid of running into a rogue. He receives a call from Wenhui. He answers, and she says that she will work tomorrow and asks if he can pick her up. The protagonist asks if there is something wrong with her or if she has already gotten the 2 million to pay for the car repair, because if that is true, he can pick up the money tomorrow. She tells him that Wenwu is his brother-in-law now, so how can he make a family pay for that kind of thing? They were only testing him that day, and now that he has passed the family's test, they are already dating. The protagonist gets irritated and shouts at her, asking if she hit her head or something, because if she does not pay the compensation, she will be summoned to court, and he hangs up. He thinks that, from the looks of it, there is no limit to how low a leech can sink. Yu is leaving and sees the protagonist, saying that this is an incredible coincidence. She gets into the car and he asks if she's going to the international circuit. She says yes and explains that there will be an official event at the circuit and she is going to live stream it because it took a lot of work to get a chance to enter. She emphasizes that it is very hot, so she bought some fruit and while he drives, she can feed him. He takes some and says that it really is delicious. A little later, they arrive at the international circuit. He gets out of the car saying that he would like to see what that whole promotion is about and that he will go in with her. As soon as they enter, Yu sees that those two were arguing again. The protagonist asks if she knows the two of them. She says yes, and explains that the woman is Renzixuan and the man is Sunrui. They are popular streamers on the platform where she live streams, so she needs to go there and see what is happening. She asks the two of them what is going on. Sunrui asks what else it could be because, from the looks of it, Miss Renzixuan is trying to get rid of the two of them. Renzixuan asks him not to dare say that because she is not trying to drive the two of them away. It was the owner of the racetrack himself who said that only one host was needed. Yu says that this place is very big and the three of them could stream because that would not be a problem. Sunrui, irritated, says that this is a joke because she is appealing to the owner of that place. It is obvious that she is using Mr. Chin's influence and trying to put the two of them in a bad position. Renzixuan asks what is wrong with her managing to get strong support, because she does not have to stream with an insignificant little group like the two of them. Suddenly, a woman arrives, telling her that everything is ready and that they can enter with the badge Mr. Chin Han gave them, because he is waiting inside. She takes the badge and starts mocking them, saying that she will stay inside alone and do an exclusive stream while the two of them can leave. Yu says that unfortunately it is better for them to leave because that girl has Mr. Chin Han's support. On the other hand, they have nothing, so there is no way to compete with her. Sunrui calms down, saying that they really cannot do anything else, and that makes him very angry. The protagonist approaches, saying that there is no need for the two of them to leave because they are already there to do the live stream, so that is what they are going to do. Renzixuan gets irritated and asks if the protagonist is going crazy and who he is, because he is acting very naively. If he dares to mess with Chin Han, he will die without even knowing where the attack came from. The protagonist says that if that is the case, then she can go there and call Chin Han to see how he would die. Yu asks the protagonist to calm down and emphasizes that they will not livestream, so there is no need to get so angry with them, they can just leave. But Linny emphasizes that there is not the slightest chance of that happening, and tells the two of them to go with him because he will make sure they do that livestream. Sunrui gets a little scared and asks Yu who her friend really is. She is surprised and says that she also does not know for sure, but she believes in him. And even if there is a mountain of fire ahead, she will follow him. Sunrui feels a little more confident after hearing that and ends up accepting the invitation as well. Renzixuan keeps mocking the situation, saying that maybe if he is humiliated a little, he will learn a lesson. As soon as they arrive on the other side, they see several luxury cars parked in the parking lot. The two of them are impressed, saying that this track is really cool and that if they can live stream there, their popularity will definitely explode. Sunrui asks if the protagonist is really sure they can live stream there. Linyi asks them to prepare their equipment because with him there, no one will be able to drive them away. They look to the side and warn the protagonist that Renzixuan and Chin Han are heading toward them. Renzixuan points at the two of them, telling Chin Han and manager Haitao that today is her exclusive live stream and that those two people invaded the place, especially the one leading them, who is so crazy that he did not care about Chinhan's name. The manager goes over to the protagonist and bows, saying that it is very good to see him there. Linyi thanks him, saying that he is doing a great job. Chinhan also greets the protagonist, saying that it is very good to know that he managed to find time to come there. Renzixuan is shocked by this and asks why Chinhan and Haitao know that person. Chinhan gets angry with her, asking if she is blind because that is the owner of the international circuit, so how can she not know the owner? Linyi asks Chinhan if that girl is his friend because she was very rude to him just now outside. Chinhan says she is nothing, just some random girl he has fun with from time to time, so he will tell her to leave right now. She gets worried and, with tears in her eyes, begs not to be kicked out, because if she cannot do her live stream, then her career as a streamer will be over. Chinhan says that he knows Linyi's character very well, and if she had not gone too far, he definitely would not have been offended and kicked her out. He asks the security guards to take her outside immediately, and she keeps shouting, telling them to let her go because she does not want to leave. Chinhan looks at Yu and asks if that streamer is one of the protagonist's mistresses, because she seems like a good person, but has an average body. And if Linyi wants, he can introduce some foreign girls with perfect bodies. But the protagonist only says that it is better for Chinhan to keep doing that kind of thing, because it is all for the glory of the country. Sunrui sees that scene and starts wondering what the protagonist's background could be, because how does he even dare to mock Mr. Chinhan? From the looks of it, he must be very powerful. Chinhan emphasizes that the track is new and invites the protagonist to do 2 laps, because his hands are already itching. Besides, he has also improved his cornering skills a little, so it will not be as easy for the protagonist as last time. He accepts, and the two go to the track. Sunrui shouts for Yu not to waste time and to start the live stream immediately because they will lose a lot of money. Chinhan asks the protagonist if he would like to bet something to make things a little more interesting. Linyi asks what the bet would be. Chinhan suggests 100,000 per second with a total of 5 laps, and the time difference between the winner and the loser will be the payment. Linyi agrees without hesitation. The race begins and the two shoot forward at the high speed, but the protagonist wins again. Linyi laughs and asks if he's going to admit defeat again. Chinhan says that sometimes he is even a little afraid of Linyi because he practiced hard for days and barely managed to keep up with him. But as agreed, here is the payment for the bet, totaling 2,100,000. Linyi takes the money and gives it to Haitao, saying that there is a scratch on the car so he can take that money and have someone repair it. Haitao says that it is fine, because he will take a picture immediately, contact the manufacturer, and have them send an engineer from overseas to fix it. Linyi goes over to the two of them and says that they can continue streaming there, and if they need any help, they only need to look for Haitao, because he needs to leave now. Yu is very happy for the opportunity and all the help and thanks him. Chinhan goes over to the protagonist and asks what is going on, because he has a beautiful streamer right there and already wants to continue doing driver rides. Linyi says that he finds it very fun and asks if he would like to join in. Chinhan says no, because women start hitting on him as soon as they get into his car, so who could stand that all day? But the protagonist can continue with his beautiful work since he likes being a driver so much. Linyi explains that usually the women who do that think they are rich idiots, but now he needs to leave. He looks at the mission progress and realizes that he only needs 3 more orders, so he will go have dinner and soon come back to continue. As soon as he arrives at his favorite restaurant, he asks Aunt Lu why she is closing so early because it has been a long time since he ate her fried rice, so he came there to enjoy it. Liu explains that Xiao Jing's class has ended, and she was preparing to close for a while and go pick her up so she can help at the stall. But she asks what the protagonist would like to eat because she can prepare it first. Linny says that if that is the case, then he can go pick up Jing before eating, because he is free right now anyway. He asks her to add ham to the dish. 20 minutes later, he arrives at the school and goes over to a student. Asking if the students are still inside the school, she says that all of them have already been released. He goes to the third-year classroom and when he looks inside, sees Jing Shua and is surprised. The boy's mother was arguing with the teacher, telling her to look at her son's face and see the scar that girl left. She emphasizes that her son was about to enter the entertainment industry in the future, and if she delays his career, this will not go unpunished, because the two of them will be finished. Jing, with tears in her eyes, explains that it was that boy who bullied her first. Otherwise, she would not have done anything. The protagonist enters the classroom and apologizes to the boy's mother, but she needs to know that with that face, entering the entertainment industry is asking for too much. Jing Shua and Jing are happy to see the protagonist. Linyi explains to Jing that her mother is taking care of the stall, so he is there to pick her up. He asks what is going on and whether she fought with her classmate. Jing shows the clothes, saying that they are all torn, and that it was that boy who did it. Linyi tells the woman that in this matter, the one at fault is her son, so she does not need to complain about anything. However, the woman remains irritated, questioning what kind of attitude that is, and warns once again that if they do not pay compensation today, this matter will not end well. Jing keeps saying that it was that boy who messed with her first, and the boy's mother, even more irritated, asks what it matters if he bullied her first, because she is a poor girl and has nothing, so she has no reason to argue and needs to stay quiet. Linyi slaps the woman in the face and she asks how he dares to hit her. The protagonist says that it is already easy to see where that brat inherited his bad manners from. The boy's mother looks at Jingshua and asks if she is useless, and how she can just watch the protagonist come in there and bully her and her son. She emphasizes that her husband is the HR manager of Zhonghan Investment Fund and will let his colleagues from the legal department deal with that situation. Jingshua tells the woman that this matter is all her fault in the first place, and even if she goes to court, it will be useless. The boy's mother remains irritated, saying that it is fine if she does not want to deal with it now. Not only will Jing be sued, but the entire school will also have problems. Jingshua tells the protagonist that they can leave now because she will talk to the principal about the situation. Jing thanks the teacher and the protagonist says that they need to go because her mother is waiting at home. Suddenly, a man bursts through the door and asks the teacher who is bullying his son at school and how she became a teacher while acting like this. The son tells his father that it is those two and that guy just hit his mother. The man shouts at the protagonist, telling them to stop immediately and kneel down to apologize to his wife because his boss is Chin Han. So if anyone messes with him, they will no longer be able to live in that city. Upon hearing this, the protagonist takes out his phone and calls Chin Han, asking how an HR manager from his company is there, ordering him to kneel after he won the bet. Chin Han asks if that is some kind of joke because how could there be such an idiot inside his company? The protagonist, irritated, asks if he really thinks he would joke about something like that. Chin Han apologizes and says that he will immediately find out who that idiot is, will definitely kick him out, and will soon give an explanation. The man asks the protagonist who he was calling. Linny explains that he just called Chin Han. The man starts mocking him, asking if that is some kind of joke because, from the looks of it, that poor loser still does not know his place. Who the hell does he think he is to know Mr. Chin Han? And when he pretends to be something, he needs to be a little more realistic. However, the man's phone starts ringing. Chin Han asks Li Dewang if he really dared to provoke Lin Yi and asks if he wants to die. Dewang tries to argue, but Chin Han interrupts and tells him to pack his belongings and get out because Zhonghan Investment Fund has no place for trash like him. Dewang tries to explain and falls to his knees on the floor, saying that he will apologize to him right now because he just took out a loan to buy a house and a car, and if he is fired, his life will be over. Chin Han says that if that is the case, then it is fine, because the Africa branch is short on people, and if he does not want to lose his job, then he has another option, which is to go to Africa. Dewang drops the phone and is completely devastated. His wife goes over to him and asks what is going on and why he's kneeling on the floor. Dewang explains that the protagonist really knows Chin Han, and he just received a call and was fired without being able to say a single word. Dewang bows before the protagonist and says that he knows very well that he was wrong, so he begs him for another chance. But the protagonist kicks him, saying that it was very good that he went there because if it had only been Jing and Jingshua, he does not know how much they would have been bullied by the two of them. He asks the three of them to leave immediately and be good people from now on. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new content. Thank you.